Folks, we're back with another episode of Hardpoints. We're live, baby. Gentlemen, BTB, we got some new graphics. Chat, how are we looking?
They look good.
God
yeah, these
damn.
are cool. I'm admiring
That's
these
what I
right
was
now.
watching.
The BTB is looking nice. Hope you guys like the little intro there for Hardpoints as well. Paper Crowns killed it with the revamp of the podcast. First time using the new graphics. I hope you guys in chat like them. Okay, we're back. We had a little bit of a break for the holidays. This bald idiot over here was gone for so long. We're like, dude, when are you coming back? Finally, we could do an episode. So here we go. But
weren't you meant to be gone longer too?
yeah, weren't you gonna be gone longer?
No, I stayed the whole time. It was like 10 days.
Oh, you were supposed to.
Shorter.
You were supposed to come home earlier.
We were thinking about yes, if copyright issues, but he was a good
Right.
boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I
it's
thought you were
vacation.
supposed to be there longer. I was like, wow.
And then I got back and got hooked on World of Warcraft, and now here we are.
No,
Haven't
that's a trap right there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm actually kind of jealous though. I kind
It's amazing.
Too. Okay, folks, we haven't really talked to you since New Year's, Christmas. I hope you guys all had a great, happy holiday. I hope you guys. I know we talk on like our usual streams and things like that, but we haven't seen you on the podcast in a while. So hope you guys are all doing well. Happy New Year, everybody. Hope 21 can. I don't know, just be a better year in general. 2020 was
Can it be worse?
I don't think so. You know, it's a pretty low bar to begin with. But thank you guys so much for stopping by. And so today, we're all kind of waiting for CDL to start happening. I feel like this show revolves a lot more around when gameplay is actually flowing for CDL. But we have a decent amount of stuff to talk about considering the CDL kickoff / opening weekend, whatever you want to call it. I want to talk about Warzone quite a bit. The state of Warzone right now is just a bitch with the conversations around tournaments, skill-based matchmaking, cheaters. The stim glitch was back today. So if you guys are watching my stream today, our streams today, it's kind of a mess. Crowder, you'll be able to experience that a little bit later on tonight. Have fun with that one, buddy. But yeah, lots of stuff to talk about. So yeah, first off, I want to talk about a little bit on what you guys did for Christmas. Each one of you. We know what Baldy did. I know what Baldy did. You went to
Tails. We can highlight.
Yo, what'd you do?
Incredible Mexico.
You just saw the parents, both sides. We are, happy enough to see both parents. With everything going on, we skipped Thanksgiving. But
Same.
we played it smart. Did what we had to do. Got to see everybody. Got to give everyone their presents.
Nice, dude.
Got back home. So that was it. Pretty simple. Nothing too crazy. I didn't, So just happy we got to see everyone. Got to be together for some time. And now I've been back in my basement for a long time. Just
Hell yeah, baby. Grinding.
playing Call of Duty. Yeah.
New year, new grind. Crowder, what'd you do, buddy?
I did the same thing. I just kept it very low key. I saw my parents, which was the first time in like over a year. And then other than that, just hung out, did about nothing, just hung out with close family and then played video games. There was the weirdest thing, like not really seeing anybody during the holidays. Cause usually, my side of my mom's side of the family does like a huge thing, but we just kept it super low key, just like close family and just hung out. But it was nice being able to see everybody again. Felt good. Felt nice to be home for a little bit.
I got to turn my alerts off. But Crowder, that sounds fantastic, dude. The little things, man. I went back home for a couple weeks too, and it's crazy that I haven't been back to see family in an entire year. I feel like it flew by. So just like the little things like that. We had to play it safe too. Like my grandparents been going through some health issues, and COVID doesn't really, make anything like that easier to deal with as well. So they've been playing it super safe. Couldn't really have like our usual, Christmas holiday experience. So wasn't everything that I wanted to be, but just seeing everybody going back home for
This guy went to Mexico, bro.
Yeah, dude. Clint, bro. All right, I
Yeah,
got.
we
Let me turn
didn't
off
play
the text
safe
stream.
too.
You guys talk.
We didn't go to like a resort or anything crazy. We had like a condo with like no one really there.
Just giving you a hard time.
It was very relaxing, man. We actually didn't do much. I stayed a lot of tacos and lay by the pool. Like we couldn't, we didn't be crazy and like go where a lot of people were. It was relaxing. There's something nice about like streaming's not like the hardest job in the world necessarily, but it is a grind. And every morning you wake up thinking about the fact that you have to do it, because if you don't, it's like setting cash on fire. And just the 10 days with knowing I couldn't do shit was very good for mental health. So it was nice. It was relaxing.
Nice, dude. Glad to hear it. Well, happy holidays, everybody. Happy New Year. Thank you so much for stopping back in and checking out Hardpoints. Again, once the CDL is back in full swing, we have gameplay to talk about. That's not... A lot of the stuff that we're going to talk about in this episode is just speculation, right? Going off of scrims is one thing. Seeing actual live matches where all the everything's going to come out of the back pockets for these teams. I just can't wait to see actual gameplay. But
and we can't see a lot of scrims anyway. So
yeah,
it's like...
that too. There's just very limited information to talk on.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Okay, so first off, I guess we have information on the kickoff. We're going to start there.
Yeah, we're finally getting started, right? The number of times a day in my stream where I'm asked, when's the league starting? When's the league starting? Like, dude, when they tweet about it, great. I'm not going to say anything. But Joe and I, since we've been going through like all our contract stuff, and we've been out of the loop on most stuff anyway. Yeah. So like when
either way too.
when that was getting posted, I'm like, all right, dope. Looks like we're getting started. But just looking through it, I think like each team's going to play one time, basically. Some of the matchups are being voted on as well. I don't know, kind of think about, it's different obviously than launch weekend last time in Minnesota, but it's the same thing in the sense of it's some show matches, some fun. There's gonna be some trash talk. We'll enjoy ourselves. Get to see some action.
Yeah, should be a good time. I'm excited to see. So yeah, reading through this Charlie Intel article here, we have the announcement of the Kickoff Classic and then a home series opening weekend as well. So basically, I'm curious to see how this kickoff thing goes because of the way the group selection, the snake draft, whatever it's called. It's going to be super interesting to see how that plays out. You guys read on that?
A little bit, yeah. And it'll be interesting and fun. But how does it work exactly? Like,
I don't really fully understand it, to be honest.
So basically, this article reads that during the Kickoff Classic, the CDL will feature a unique group selection draw show, in which a special snake draft format that will allow teams to select the team that will be placed in its next ranked opponent's group.
So it sounds like you're picking your opponent's groups.
Yeah, basically.
To me, it sounds like you're just trying. Yeah, like I'm guessing.
So it says this means Dallas Empire. This means Dallas Empire will be able to select Atlanta FaZe's first Group B opponent and will continue down the order of teams based on their 2020 CDL positions.
Right. So you start off with Dallas. They'll probably pick, Optic to put in with Atlanta.
Yeah.
Then you'll go to Atlanta. Who are you going to put in Dallas makes sense.
Okay.
So basically you're just, you're trying to stack the other group.
Should be.
But what are the groups for? Just for the weekend? Just for the
kickoff event.
That's for the kickoff event. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's because I thought everyone was just playing like once and like some were voted on. So
no, the first event, Maven, the first event, the kickoff event.
Gotcha. I was thinking kickoff classic, like the weekend. Okay.
No.
Interesting.
The kickoff event. Yeah.
All right.
Not
that's
right?
interesting.
Or am I crazy?
No, you have to be right because that's why I didn't understand it first.
Yeah, the home series opening weekend. Right. Yeah. So there's the kickoff classic, which is like what you talk about the launch, and then the first
I guess
event.
I made that kind of confusing, but
no. I just mixed the two together in my head, but that makes sense. But then, all right. So what the first one will just be kind of that fun launch weekend, show off some teams a little bit, and the next one we kind of
helps production, it helps everybody. Right?
Yeah. But the kickoff classic is where they're going to announce kind of format and everything, right? I think that's what it said in the tweet. Like that's where we're finally get like a lot of details. I believe. What all did they say they're going to announce there? Like obviously we have the group part of it. Kickoff Classic, Famous 21. Oh, so just the group selection season details. I thought I was missing something, but yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll get a lot of information there.
Yeah, for sure.
Get sexy. Cast with Joey D.
We could talk about all that type of stuff. I want to see some actual gameplay. I feel like it's been forever since I've been watching competitive Call of Duty. I want more, right? And scrims are very limited, obviously, because teams don't really stream their scrims for the most part. So I'm just excited to get like a clearer picture and form my own opinions on not only gameplay, competitive gameplay in Cold War, because I don't really play anymore. I'm on Warzone all day, so most of us really are at this point.
Played some Age, do that. It is fun. I will just be honest with you. Like you would like when there is a good hopefully there's a good ranked play system. Like we're gonna have fun. Like it's 4v4. It's what you know. Spawns make sense. It's a good time. Like it really is. It really is a good time. I think a lot of people. I mean, just when you watch the players and talk to the players about how I think they're in a good mindset compared to previously, which is good.
Chris basically said that today. He was helping me. Like, so you guys know me. Like, I've been casting for 7 years. When it is the off season for me, it's the off season. When it's time to buckle down and really dive into scrims, when the season's getting close, I dive in. And Joe's my expert anyway. But like Chris and I were watching some stuff today, and like, dude, I was just watching. I'm like, God damn, I forgot how like easy it is to watch 4v4 and how everything makes sense. And when like just the little things, like as a commentator, like being able to hype up that one gunfight that's really big and know it's like one big gunfight that decides the next hard point, unlike Modern Warfare, where it's like a guy could get a 10 piece and it wouldn't do shit. Like it was just, I don't know, man. It was really refreshing. And I kind of shared TeeP's sentiment that I just want more. But Chris, thank you for just walking me through some things today. You're beautiful and intelligent.
Yeah, no problem, bro. Yeah, how refreshing was it though to watch? Like,
Is that kind of
oh
charity
my
work?
God, they're over
Helping
here, they're
Baldy
gonna
out?
spawn here. Yeah, kind of a little bit of like it, walking them through the spawns and stuff. But yeah, dude, it's probably one of the most refreshing things, Tyler, to watch this game and like just look at the mini map and be like, oh, they're gonna spawn here if they push here, and everything works out like perfectly. It's so nice. I can't wait for you guys to actually start watching like your stuff.
Quick question on that note, Crowder. How is it coaching 4v4 in comparison to 5v5 so far? I know it's early, right? But how is it?
It's amazing. It's like it's one less person in the comms, which makes it just a little bit easier to like. Even like last year, sometimes you would be watching your team and just be like, what is being said right now? Especially with my team, because like my guys talk a lot. But with fours, yeah, the one less guy on the map and is in the comms makes it super, super easy, and it's like way more structured. It's very easy to like kind of pinpoint if someone makes a mistake, and if someone goes the wrong way in 4v4s compared to like in 5v5s, like it's really kind of like glaring of like how much of an issue that is. So coaching 4v4s is easy, way easier in like all around stuff, and just a lot more fun. It's more fun because like COD makes more sense again. Like this game makes so much more sense than last year, and I feel like with like the new maps and like the way the maps are running right now, it's awesome. And plus we have control back, and I loved control for Black Ops 4, and I love it in this game too. So it's been pretty dope.
Well, and there's theater, right? So like those sort of awkward conversations in scrims, and I know people are, everybody's gotten to the point where you're basically recording, everyone's point of view and VOD, and people are in the chat, but like, I don't know. I've always felt like in scrims, like someone says they did something or doesn't know what they did, and it's just easy to go back and be like, no, this is where you messed up. Like it's right here. Like I'm literally watching you be an idiot. So that's my favorite. This is what I'm talking about, sir.
It's more convenient.
Stop being an idiot. So that has to help every single time you have like the theater mode feature for sure.
Even if you're just playing like 8s or something and you're not recording your gameplay, because most teams, like you said, like have coaches and they have people that are basically the people to be like, hey, you are being an idiot. You can say you did this, but you didn't. And like there's like VOD proof. But even when you're playing like 8s and just other stuff too, you can always go back and watch your gameplay. It's nice to have that theater option just to see. It's awesome.
Does it work a lot better on like PC than it did in the past with console? Like, is there anything that's an advantage? I wonder, because I'm curious.
I'm not sure.
I was trying to think of
I haven't used it too much because I record everything. But
are there any big changes like though with PC? Like I know people are going to run a higher FOV, and I wonder. Yeah, I was actually
like with theater, like with theater in general.
Well,
like
theater in general, just the game in general. Like I didn't really think about how much, like what little things might change. Like even I was thinking today with Chris, like for Codcaster, like what FOV are we going to be on? Like I would love to be higher, but are they still going to run like 90?
Well, I think that's something they're discussing, because I remember we did that video and we were, some of them were in there. I think they're trying to figure that all out.
I feel like theater should be.
I think better on what you're talking about, like PC wise, is sort of the production, everything else side, where everything should be much easier and accessible. Well, I hope so. Hope.
Yeah, you would think so. In theory.
In theory, it would work way better because, like, I don't know. I feel like any of that stuff, like all the additions on console, like, feel like it just, I don't know, made everything.
Well, it's just like anytime we needed a patch or a hotfix, it was like it had to get approved and go through their console security and this and that. And it's like, I'm pretty sure they have a lot more freedom on PC.
Okay. Speaking gameplay wise, let's talk a little bit about gentlemen's agreements. I've seen some chatter about it on social media, on Reddit, whatever it may be. Crowder, you're probably going to be our go-to for this one. Should people be worried about potential or current gentlemen's agreements? Do you think it dumbs down the game too much? Do you feel like it brings the game up to a better competitive state? Where's your head at right now with competitive gameplay for Cold War?
I like the meta that everyone has now. From what I've been seeing in scrims, at least from like my team, it's the Krig 6, the AK-74U, and then the XM4 has been making its way like into play a little bit here and there. And having like a 3-gun meta is nice. I personally like GAs because it kind of like standardizes some of the stuff. So like most people that are using the same thing, and it comes down to like who's just more talented and a better team and has better teamwork. There's also the other side of things where GAs get a little bit ridiculous, and it kind of leads into like stupid stuff too. I haven't really been paying attention to too many of the GAs this year, just because I just don't care. Like I care so much more about what my team's doing on the map and like the teamwork aspect of things, where like just arguing like the GAs, whether or not like I agree with them or not, like I don't know. So like I'm like half in the GA thing with my team, and they kind of keep me updated, but a lot more of it's like player based and stuff. But like a lot of like the developers and stuff, I'm pretty sure are really hands on with like making sure the game's balanced and stuff from what we've been working with to like compared to previous years. So I think we're in a really good spot.
I think things are just going to get changed and get done faster, it seems like. I mean, we can kind of say the same thing so far for Warzone, where it just seems like Treyarch on the competitive side and Raven on the Warzone side, they seem more, I think, Joe, you said this, they seem more excited and like they're actually involved. They actually know what's going on a better level. And just something simple like that is great for making changes like that.
Yeah, I mean, they like watching their gameplay at the highest level. Yep. I mean, that's pretty much
biggest
it.
Difference.
I mean, they know. I mean, I've been in the stands, like, you know, at events talking with Tony, and I've talked with Vaughn. Like, these guys care. They ask questions. Why do this? Why do that? And I think, like, for a lot of people that, you know, why GA started, what was it? Where it really started was like AW, right? Because we had those exosuit abilities, and one of them was invisibility, one was hover. It got really far away from Call of Duty. Like it did. Like it did. So people ask me this question all the time. I don't play Call of Duty at the highest level anymore, but I trust the pros. They play it 8 to 10 hours a day, right? I know there's always going to be some little things that are make some people, you know, mad, and why is this, why is that? But they're trying to create the highest skill ceiling for the most part that Call of Duty can have. And they're the ones that play with it the most. So if there is something that they anonymously agree on, then I'm all for it. Like, let's go. Let's see it happen. But to your point, like there was the Tony Flame post. There are some things that are being tested. Tony basically said, hey, we're talking to the pros. We're having them try things. There might be a day of scrims where you don't see them using a certain weapon or using a certain attachment. And we want to see that. We want to see how it plays out. So like, I think there is some miscommunication, and there's very much an overreaction thanks to social media and other thing like Reddit. Like, you know, Disturdo is going to try and get a clickbait post about a new GA every time they can. And you don't blame them, but that's the way it is. It's very much an overreaction. And I will just be honest. I truly do not believe that Freddie is not going to watch Optic play the LA Thieves because his AK-47 is not being used. I'm just going to be honest. If that is truly it, like if you're sitting there like,
poor Fred.
I can't believe it, dude. Like,
he loves
Slasher's not using an AK. Like, dude, I'm not watching this, bro. Like, I veto this map. Like, I can't see that in my mind. I just can't do it. I don't believe that's a thing. So
Freddie's been subbed for 4 years.
Yeah, like you know, like I don't know how that mindset is a thing. I just know I like watching the highest level of Call of Duty. It's really what it is.
All we want is a balanced 3-weapon meta.
Exactly.
We know what works. We know it's like. Go ahead, Clint. Sorry.
As long as we don't have one weapon, like as long as I go back to Ghost or just something with like one gun, as long as there's like 3 guns, even if I prefer that over 2, but that's fine. It's still fun to watch. I still want Black Ops 1 or Ghost where it's one damn gun for all 8 people. Like that's where the line, I guess, is kind of drawn for me. Like, even if it's competitive and plays well, something about there just being one weapon in everyone's hands, I don't know. I don't like that. But if it's 3 weapons, like,
to be honest, it's more down like the quality of like watchable gameplay or competitive gameplay. It's largely down to the maps, right? Like I feel like maps that we've had in recent years, it probably wouldn't have even mattered for the most part what our weapon meta was. Like if going back to, I guess we'll just go back to last year. Like I got really bored just watching people play Hackney Yard, to be honest with you. So I think the way maps are going to play throughout this year, regardless of the weapon meta, it's just going to be a lot more fun to watch. So I don't know. Hopefully,
sure,
Chris today. Hopefully, we have a good amount of variety.
He was just gushing over Raid the whole front. We were chatting like 3 hours. Like, dude, he just was so happy.
Good.
Dude,
It's so
watching
good.
Raid
It's
Hardpoint,
so good.
watching Raid Hardpoint
Brings
is
back memories,
so
I
fun,
bet.
dude. Just the map, the way it looks, the colors of the map, the way it plays, like, of course, like nostalgia too, but like everything about that map just reminds me of how amazing Black Ops 2 was. Like all those maps in Black Ops 2 were like that had to be like an accident, but like wow. Like just wow.
Maybe.
That game was amazing. But yeah, watching these maps and stuff in this game compared to last year, I agree. Even like probably my least favorite map right now is like Crossroads, like the way it plays out.
Yeah.
But Crossroads is a very high engagement, small map. So you get like a lot of crazy plays, a lot of 2 pieces, 3 pieces and stuff that go on. So even like the maps that I don't like personally, they end up still playing really, really well for the spectating experience. So I think it's pretty dope.
Love that.
Oh, and there's still like high impact plays,
Yeah.
like even on like you flip out, like it just never happened on like a map like Hackney. Like, it just felt like the efforts of the player in like teamwork just weren't there. I mean, they just weren't. And I know that can quickly switch with, you know, with how small of a map Crossroads is, but you know, getting those good spawns and hardpoint and there's just so much more of a meaning to it and having map control than what we had last year.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, you'll see a lot in this game where I think Maven said it earlier. Just watching someone get like 3 or 4 kills last year, for it not to really mean much because of squad spawns and they wouldn't flip out. Like there are going to be like crucial rotation fights and 2 pieces on rotation that completely change the settlement of the game. Like no matter what. So watching this year and watching the way the maps play out and like on a Crossroads map, it's not like my favorite, but if someone pushes up through the middle of the map, if you have back spawns and gets a 2 or 3 piece and flips them behind you, like that's the game changing play that will like be very evident like when you watch the map back and stuff. So it's pretty cool.
And I think there's even more pressure on Joe and I to really highlight this stuff because I watched the map of your team today and you guys outslayed by like 50 and won by 20. Remember that?
Yeah, because
because
100 Thieves was I think that was the map where they won like every crucial rotational fight.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
it's going to be on Joe and I to really like highlight that stuff because sometimes it's going to look weird when that happens. But yes, it can come down. This is like old Hardpoint where like Joe and I would say like, yeah, there's a 100 and whatever gunfights in the map, but 15 really matter like that are really crucial and important to what's going to happen on the map. Like I don't know, it's going to be fun to, and it's easier to see those happen. Like one, I'm really excited because we have a great observing team. They got better and better last year, and I trust those guys to pick up the good plays. But just for, I mean, I'm sure Joe felt the same way. There are times these past few years that it is just tough. It's just tough to look at the mini map and I'd be like, bleh. There's just too much going on. So
I mean, the issue that I had too, and I feel like is a reason where I'd kind of tune out a lot of the time too, is it was harder to realize who was playing better than one another. In a 4v4 environment, those type of storyline plays stick out more. And in a 5v5, it's just like it all got kind of watered down, you know? Who's going the right way every single time? It didn't really matter because there's an extra guy always there to push up and hopefully get a 2-piece or something like that. It just was super chaotic. So I guess the next thing to follow up with the gameplay so far is how are streaks playing?
Honestly, I like them. I mean, I think streaks in this game, people might disagree, I guess, but I think they're good. Like they do like what they're supposed to. Obviously, if you get a streak, it's going to help you out, but it's not like some overpowered streak that like you can't get away from. And no, if you get if you get that streak, like the game is over. Like you can easily like kind of avoid them, and at the same time, like you're gonna have to be pretty good of like when you want to use them and stuff. So I think they're pretty cool. They're not super easy to get. So
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is that value still being messed with, or has there been like a happy
I think what we're playing now, I don't know the numbers off the top. I think it's 1600 and 1800, or maybe it's a little bit higher than that. But whatever it is, it's like a happy medium where like in order to get them, you have to be playing really well.
Frying. Right.
But like it's also sometimes not like on some maps, it's not even like you don't want to like value your life too hard to like make sure you get the streak because it's not going to be like the most game changing thing. So like it's going to be cool to watch people get them, and it will change some maps. Like Raid, for example, is a good map for streaks and stuff. But at the same time, like there's going to be really good like plays with them. You'll see.
Think about Black Ops 4.
You'll see what I mean. But I think they're perfect right now. I think they've been playing out pretty well. The only thing I don't like about streaks, I think there's a thing with the artillery where it's like the 3 ping airstrike, and you can like
choose one, right?
Close it, and use one later, then close it, and then use one later again.
Does it give you a ping each time?
That's too strong.
I don't know if it gives you a ping each time, but you can't. That can't happen. Like that has to be one and done in my opinion. I don't think you should be able to
I agree with that too.
So you're basically picking one missile, right? Okay, that makes sense.
That sounds like something they'll be pretty fast to fix, though.
I'm not really
that
worried
doesn't
about
sound
that,
like something that's intended. Streaks have never really worked like that. I don't know.
Well, I'm just excited for streaks in general. Think about like last year, we don't have them. The year before, with Black Ops 4, I was laughing because you could make one big play and be fully streaked out in 7 seconds. Like you got points for everything. You got points for just touching your ass in that game. Like anything you did, you just got streaks. So if it is a little bit more skill based and tactical, that sounds very welcome. As much as like it was kind of fun to cast like a lot of streaks, like it can be entertaining. It was
all
a lot.
the streaks with specialists. It was just like wild.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
I just like them because it's not only like a storyline thing, it's easy to follow along for a viewership perspective, but it's another skill gap, right? Some teams, some players, some individuals on certain hills are going to be better at using streaks than others. And I feel like it's a clear way to tell who's more prepared and who has a better plan when, you know, whether it be to hold something, whether it be to break something. Do they always use it at a certain time on a certain hill on a certain map? You know, it's going to be interesting to see how they play out in Search and Destroy too. So that's what I liked so much about BO4, where I feel like certain teams had play styles, or certain players had play styles that were more inclined to get streaks. And if you got streaks at Hardpoints in BO4, you're probably going to win most of the maps. You know what I mean? Besides like maybe like a frequency or something where they didn't have as big of an impact. But love this storyline for streaks.
Also, I just got a text. The artillery, there's like an artillery GA right now where if you use one, you have to use them all. Like you can't do what I was just saying. I haven't seen any players doing it, but that makes more sense. But that still needs to be fixed because in a tournament, the last thing you need to do is start having like that worry that someone's going to do it. But yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah, that's would be crazy OP just for information. So many things wrong with it. Go ahead, Joe.
I got a question, Chris. I mean, I've watched scrims like through Optic. It feels like Control has gotten to a better place, especially offenses. I know it's still defensive heavy, but I feel like when I'm watching scrims, like people are starting to figure it out. Like they're starting to figure out how you get kills, you stack. Like
shocking.
It feels like one of the things that a lot of people were worried about with Control is starting to get figured out.
From watching my team play Control, you can easily win an offense. It just depends on the way you play it. It was just kind of like Black Ops 4, where people didn't really know what to do or how to win offenses yet, so it didn't work out very well. But I think teams are getting way better at that. It's still definitely defensive heavy, but
of course, yeah,
no, you're pretty spot
everything
on.
we said on our first episode, basically. Like, people have to learn.
Just need some
I
time.
love watching Control.
I mean, I watch it. People figure out like you got to stack the point, and it goes so much faster with fours. And I mean, I know a lot of people were talked about how like Black Ops 4 specialists really made a difference, and they did because when you're on attack, if you had a specialist, you can make a play. People were talking about stims, just the ability to stay alive was a lot easier. I totally understood that. So I just know that was a big talking point, especially early on. But it feels like that's sort of going away.
Can't be worse than
people
Dom.
figuring it out. No, sure can't be. No, cannot be.
I hated that a lot.
No,
it is
It's
long.
automatically going to be better.
Because I'm pretty sure. So typically our game modes, what do they want? You were in League Ops. What do they want them to be? Like 10, 15 minutes max?
10 to 12 is sort of like 10
pretty
to 12
sure I
is
watched
like
a 20-minute control today.
Well, I mean,
sure.
that a big part of that though is open events, which you have to understand. Like, because the reason is
good point.
a best of 3 that takes 30 minutes compared to 45 minutes. 15-minute. You do that 10 times, and that's an extra 2.5 hours, right? That goes until 2 a.m. instead of midnight. That's just what it really is.
Yeah, I think I went to like Envoy's YouTube just to watch some gameplay, and I saw he had a control video. It was 20 minutes long, and I hopped in, and it was like a 20-minute control, and I was like, interesting. It's quite long, but. Yeah,
I don't mind that.
Schedule's not as big of a concern now with the format.
Mm-hmm.
Watching Dom felt like 45 minutes. So
it was a food break for most people. They'd come back maybe the last minute probably. Say, hey, did my team win? Hey, oh no, it's a close one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So moving on. Limited information, obviously, with individuals that are looking far and above the rest of the pack. Gameplay is coming soon. So I feel like when we get more into the specifics of stats, individual players, individual teams that are sticking out more, we'll probably give you a lot better information. But leading up, is there any teams that are making signings that you guys like a lot? You know, looking down the line, whether it be like a sub, like we've seen some of the announcements of CDL teams signing subs recently. Do you guys like any of these signings that stick out to you? Crowder, if you have any input on your team, for example, of individuals that are sticking out for your team that you think are going to have a really great year. What do you guys think of how these teams are shaping up leading into the kickoff?
Well, did anybody sign the challenger team that's won 3 events in a row now? I don't know if they got signed as a sub at all.
Is that West R?
West
Yeah.
Are we talking about Tom Gravity and them?
Yeah, we sure are. Big Tom. It's my guy, dude. Always comes in, shows love.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they haven't been even like I don't know. Tom's been running the amateur scene for a while now. I feel like.
True.
I feel like his teams have been winning. Like, what did they win? Like 3 or 4 times last year too. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think they've been signed though. Not that I've heard of when I talked to him.
Well, that's the one that sticks out to me. And then I think Neptune with Florida. And I watched Neptune won like the first Challengers Cup, and he was a Halo player that came over, made the switch. I mean, he's just sort of got the centering, the movement pretty down. You know, there's always going to be this sort of little things in Call of Duty that he'll have to figure out, and he will figure out. But you know, Florida last year made a couple of rookie signings. They took some risks, and just don't be surprised if that happens again. You never know with Neptune as their sub.
Yeah, for sure. I think sort of the strategy that is a good one. Whatever team sucks, sign the best AM team. It's cheap. You probably have a cool storyline that'll bring you more fans than you're getting for being dead fucking last anyway. Excuse my language.
Sounds like a great idea, Teep.
Or if you're phase, you sign him so the other teams can't get those.
That's what I was going to say next. So yeah, if you're thinking even more ahead, if you got the money to do it, it's like yoink, nope, chilling. You know, sort of protect yourself and protect the future of your team too. You know. I don't know.
I mean, that's what United did with Simp, right? They had signed him to that cadet, you know, the EU cadets, and I mean, they were ahead of the game, like they were. They signed Simp. And they said, hey, we're going to give you a couple of, you know, I don't know how much, maybe a couple of grand a month, scrim our pro team, talent, teach them search. And then when you're 18, you can come play and probably win world championship. That happened. So
see that's
a real good idea.
They worked out real
those
real
types of conversations, I feel like, is the future of how the CDL is going to progress, right? Because obviously this last year was a weird one. Resources aren't what people thought they were going to be. People were obviously dealing with the pandemic, right? But when you're speaking like on the organization side, it's like these orgs that are popular and have a lot of money to back them, you need to use that money to take up all potential talent or as much potential talent as possible so that no one else can use them. You know what I mean? So it's just like
get money, trade them later. Like,
yeah, right. It's trade bait. Yeah. So I guess I don't know if certain organizations are already thinking like this, or they're just playing it safe because money might be tight right now. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on that.
You're describing traditional sports, Teep. I mean, and that's right. What the franchise league is. I mean, it's what you're describing. And we'll get to that point. The contracts aren't there yet. The money's not there yet. But will it evolve into that? I mean, that's
that's my point. Right? Is it a money thing?
Yeah.
Is it as simple as that? Is what I'm asking.
I don't think so, because I mean, yes, the money matters, but as much. I mean, even you've seen across all esports, people bitching about contracts and people needing to use lawyers, and a lot of people just have an agent, not a lawyer, look through stuff. And how many people have we seen, whether it's through Twitter or in this scene, just get fucked by a contract? Like there's just like a level up that needs to happen as a whole. I don't know how to word this. Just we're still like a new industry, even though it feels like it's been around a long time. Just needs to be more experienced people involved. Like, you know, when people complain about people, maybe I get it on like the production side or ownership side. Sometimes people coming from outside from regular sports, and it's sort of frowned upon because they don't really understand esports and stuff. Yeah. Sometimes I get that, but when it comes to certain things like the money and the contracts and the getting it to a better level, I think there does need to be more of that as time goes on, and we'll eventually catch up. But yeah, to see that through, you need the cash. Well, that's obviously big too. But we'll get there. I think it's just a matter of time, personally.
Or until you see someone do it successfully.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a good point.
You know, I think a lot of people, I mean, even with coaches a couple of years ago in COD, it wasn't that big of a deal, and everybody has one. You know, an analyst, it wasn't that big a deal, and everybody has one. It's sort of, well, they're doing it and it's working out type thing. So maybe we have to do it. So until there's someone who does it the correct way, that you probably won't see it all across the board. But there could be that team that goes the further step, sets the example.
That's what I want to see. I want to see more examples being set. I don't want to, you know, I feel like the teams that are going to have long-term success are going to be better at that, because obviously some of these top tier players in the league, they've already been at it for a long time. There's going to be a wave where the majority of players is going to start turning to the next generation, right? Each year we've seen multiple players step up. What if it's like Neptune's year, for example? The more like the shift of the, I don't know what you want to call it, the old guard, the vets of the scene, right? Teams over the next, I don't know, 5 years. I don't even know what type of year length to put on it, but like 5 to 10 years, teams that do that better are going to win this thing probably, right? So I'm interested.
I mean, you could look at like Stro. I mean, with what he did with Dallas, you know, getting Illy and Shotzi,
right?
You know, taking those risks. I mean, I know, yeah, exactly what you're saying. Sort of, yeah, because you're right. I mean, it could be 2 years. It could be, you know, if Modern Warfare 2 comes out next year, you know, what happens? You know, where some of the old guys are just like, I'm out of here. I'm done. So,
right. Can they do it in a, yeah.
Just kidding. So, you know, maybe they take a year off. I don't know. But yeah, that'll something a lot of people are watching.
Speaking of some of the vets of the league, let's talk about that Optic ranking video. So I didn't watch it. Someone explain to me what exactly happened.
I only watched like the highlights, like the funny clips from it that went to Twitter, but it looks like they had the guys just kind of sitting around going through, naming a player, just saying where they put them in like an A through F rank type thing. And I don't know, the bits I saw were hilarious because I guess like, I mean, I've known Formal a long time, but I don't think a lot of people, I guess maybe unless you're an Optic fan, but like he's not like the biggest fan of content, isn't do it all the time, but like he's just funny. Like, and I don't know. I don't think people see that side sometimes, but he was cracking me up, bro. Like some of the shots they were taking, and I just think there's two sides to it. Some people think it was disrespectful, and some people that think it was funny. And yes, it blurred the lines, but the fact that it blew up on social, had people bickering, and we're sitting here talking about it means it accomplished.
So yeah, so. I saw Race like snap back.
That was a good clapback, though. That was a good clapback.
Well, like if you know Ray on a personal level, like. It had to be bad. So I need to go watch it because based on his response, I was like, oh, damn. I never got a chance to watch it. But
oh, yeah. Formal was just basically like, I saw that guy start 0-10 on Strike Zone Dom. I said, I'm not watching this match anymore. Put his ass in D. And then someone was like, come on, Ray. He's like, yeah, put him in fucking D or something like that.
Oh,
like,
my God.
It was, yeah, it's like, yes, I guess it's disrespectful. But I guess I found myself, even though like Ray and our friends, like, we'll golf the guy, I love Ray, and I respect his career. Like, I just found myself laughing. I got a good chuckle out of it.
It's content, right? I think everyone can take those types of pieces with a grain of salt, as long as it got a laugh, it got us talking about it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
What do you two think? You didn't see it,
Crowder? I haven't seen it. So the first I heard of the video was when Maven was telling me about it because apparently Rambo clapped back or something like that. But I haven't seen any of it, so I have no idea.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's obviously fun. It's content. It's funny, but I think. This is always a tough thing because I think we all look at Optic at a certain level, right? It's always what it is, and we know the fan base. And I think for somebody like Ray, who, you know, he doesn't play anymore, he can't really defend himself on the main stage. It's kind of like, dude, what the hell? Like, I played for this organization. I won a bunch of championships for this organization, and you're just letting this guy just kind of shit on me. I don't know what they said afterwards, and we just kind of joked about it. I didn't watch the whole video. If they did, it's not a big deal. But I think like it kind of sucks when there's Ray's like did all that and then, you know, he can't defend himself, or there's a bunch of new Optic fans that didn't watch him now have this like bad taste in their mouth whenever they see Rambo.
I get that part of it because like I think any of us that have been around a long time and know Ray's career, like, yeah, I get what you're saying because to me it's a laugh and like. I know, Ray. Had a great
I
career,
mean, like, put
if
like
you are a new person, you've never watched Rambo.
Like, you know, like put Cream and D, joke around about whatever. Like, it's something different. And I know they mess with like Zin and stuff, but Ray's just like, I can't really do anything except for like, you know, the last tournament we beat you, two of you out of the tournament. Like that was funny. Like that was really it. That's all he could do.
Yeah.
So it's a
I get
tough
what you're
one.
saying though, like, because yeah, if you are like a 14-year-old new Optic fan, like you don't know who Rambo is, like, oh, that guy was shit apparently. So I get
Exactly.
But at the same time, like, it doesn't matter. Well, I guess.
No.
I know. What you're
I mean,
saying.
if you're
really
right, it
matter.
does. But you know, is it
Yeah, I get
bringing
what
up conversation and views? No.
But even if you're Ray, though, like I know what you're saying, but like anyone with a brain knows like what Ray did in his career and the legacy. Even if you're
There's
new,
not a
and
lot
you
of brains,
don't,
Chris.
like,
There's not. It's just really it. Like, it's just
That's
not
a
a lot
fact
of
of
brains.
life.
You stream every day. There's not a lot of brains. There really isn't. Like, there's so many just idiots.
never
Like,
mind.
and that's my point. It's like, yeah, little Timmy watches the video, and maybe one day Ray starts streaming, and little Timmy's like, "Hey, bro, I heard you suck ass." Like, well,
look
that
at like
sucks.
look at poor Pac. Like he can't. That video's gonna follow him the rest of his life, and that was like a
100%. The dude's like, dude, like, what the hell?
That was a trolly moment in the game that had no significance, but that video is literally gonna follow him forever. Completely different circumstances, but yeah, I mean, like, it's just I know what you mean.
I don't know. It was funny. I don't think it was like that serious of an environment. Like, I don't know. I understand the disrespectful side, and like people are going to be influenced to think a certain way. I just don't think it was serious enough for hopefully not too many people like take it like that. I don't know. You never know.
Can we talk real quick though? Like, all right, so that video was funny, but now that we're on like the whole streaming and content and shit side, I know this is kind of like a separate beast, but it blew my goddamn mind was the owner of Heretics thing. And we don't talk about it long, but what the shit? Like, all right, we all saw Ninja's rise. And I think I was pretty convinced that, and I know YouTube and Twitch and international, there's some differences there, obviously, but we watched that rise of Ninja. It was one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen, and I didn't think anything would ever really touch just how that exploded. Nothing might erupt that quickly like that did, of course, but I think he peaked at what was his highest, like 700,000 viewers, somewhere in that ballpark.
Well, so the crazy thing was like the sub count, right? Because it was the Twitch Prime thing was huge on Fortnite. Yeah, he got over like 100. That was like
he had 250,000 subs or something. At one point.
That was the insane. But yes, the high view. Just laugh.
The money he's making, it's a different world. But
yeah, he had 250,000 subs for. Like,
I don't want to butcher this name. Is Gref? How do I say it? Grefka?
I don't know.
I'm not a Spanish content creator expert, but point being, he hit like what was it? Oh, broke 2 million concurrents. He was getting ready for I guess his Fortnite skin to debut, and that is not just compared to other big content creators. I mean, that's big compared to anyone, but like just thinking about 2 million people, and like if you physically put that,
it's Gref, just so we know.
Gref, because I want to say Gref for some reason. Okay, so Gref, 2 million people. He's insane. And all I could think about is every time we go back to the international thing, I remember backcasting Black Ops 3. And when I did what was it at the time? It was like the play-in thing. But who was it? It was what was the German team again? I'm completely blanking. The really popular German
Fabi.
Fab, yep. And who were they playing? Not Vitality. Was it Vitality? It was Vitality.
It was Vitality.
Yeah, and they hit like 120,000 viewers or something, and it wasn't even like a pro match. And then the pro match was like all UK teams, and they were peaking at like 6K viewers. So I was like, geez. And like stuff like this though just hits me like whenever we do expand, dear mother of God, can there please be a Heretics team, and can they please be good? Because we've wanted that for France, Spain, Germany. We've wanted that forever, and the problem has been there's been some big brands, they just haven't really been all that good at international level, but. Holy God. And I think one of the guys
I thought Paris was doing that this year. I mean, there was rumors that they were signing an all French team, and people were mad. And I was like, dude, like at this point, buy in.
Yeah.
Like go for it. Like your like buy into it. Like
the problem is they need to be decent. Like they need to be good. And like could they be? Maybe. But
I think they can figure it out. I'll buy into it though. Like, let's go. You know what I mean? Let's do it.
Yeah. I agree.
But somebody said who I don't think it was Gref, it was somebody else maybe tied to it, but basically said like we have been actively seeking a CDL spot. I saw it somewhere. I don't know if it was in some of the mentions or on Reddit.
Yeah, no, they got that was like last year. Like I don't think they got.
So that makes me think they will be in. They I mean next whenever we expand, that makes me think
we're moving, right? You and I, we're going to Barcelona or Madrid.
Are we gonna be the Spanish casters, dude? You and I?
I mean, we can figure it out.
How's your guys' Spanish?
just-
Give me some.
I'll learn Spanish. Absolutely. Me
I'll learn
hablo
it.
poco. Necesito hamburguesa y papas fritas.
All
¿Dónde
we need
está
to
el
learn-
biblioteca?
We just need to learn to cast.
I did that on purpose, chat, because he says the
Spanish.
same line every single time. God, you're fat.
Yeah, I am, dude. I ate a lot of tacos in Mexico. I ate a lot.
Yeah, you
A
do.
lot.
I think
You
you'd
eat a
fit,
lot of tacos
I think
now.
you'd fit in perfectly fine in Spain. You know?
Probably. Yeah. No.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
not a
think
lot of 6'4" tall white bald men.
I'd probably be the tallest person in Spain.
Hypothetical. Chat, imagine the situation. You see Clint, you see Clint walk in with his 100 Thieves bright red jacket into some sort of restaurant. He sits down and he orders 24 tacos and eats them all while sweating his ass off.
I'm probably sleeping with a Spanish princess by the end of the night, dude. They're gonna think I'm the coolest person in the world. Look at this guy. Are there princesses there?
Yep. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
You get locked out of princess for sure, dude.
There we go. I'm going Barcelona. Me and Joe.
There you go. I think
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think your guys'
it's
streams
actually
will blow
one
up
of my
too.
my favorite cities ever been. I actually love it there. I can't wait to get back.
Wait, you've
Can't
been
lie to
there?
you. Barcelona? Yeah.
I want to go.
I did like a tour in Spain. It was
that's
it was
sick.
Oh wait,
unbelievable.
was that after G whatever? The
No.
G21?
I did it like it was like our senior Spanish trip, and I went.
Oh.
There was only like a couple of us that did it, but it was amazing. No, I had to go. I had to go back to college after that. You know, so yes, my team did that, but I had to go back to school. So
Wait, you didn't go on that trip?
no, I was in college. So I had to go back to school.
Oh, yeah, you did. The
They
whole
spent
trip
like
thing.
3
Wow.
weeks in like
Smart.
Italy and France. I was like, man, that sounds
Okay.
fun. But
Yeah.
Clint's right
Fair
though.
enough.
Back on topic on like the
Mhm.
the international viewership, right? You see, I look at metrics on like different platforms, whether it be Twitch or YouTube or Facebook, whatever it may be, and that's something that the professional Call of Duty scene we've just always struggled with. But like there's been little surges, so you know like it's there, but the teams need to not be terrible. So how like when is that going to happen?
Back up 4.
Yeah, right.
Heretics was
Yeah.
good. They were like a top 8
Yeah,
team
I
when
was,
they were
I was
here.
more
Yeah.
talking like back in
No,
the
I
day
know.
where
Yeah,
Agree.
no,
Agree.
100%. Yeah, they got bullied out. I mean, that's just kind
Yeah.
of what happened. I mean, you kind of look at like what happened with Vitality and Gotaga. Like, it just got to a point where, you know, he was probably looking to like, you know, create content and stuff too. But it was just dominated by the US and the UK, and still is. But before, you know, then we finally saw Heretics, and we're like, all right, we like this can happen. This can be a worldwide thing, and I think we all need. We want that to happen.
So-
but
back to the point
How?
too, where I wish
Yeah.
I wish Paris would have like bought in, like you said, Joe,
yeah,
because maybe it doesn't happen year 1, 2, or 3, but if people in the community know that there's going to be a French team, for example, maybe in time you can you can develop like an actual good farm system in whatever community, whatever region you're talking about, right? So like same sort of thing. If Heretics ended up buying a spot and you knew it was going to be like a Spanish lineup, I don't know. Is the talent there? I don't really know, but I feel like if the expectation is set that there's going to be a team, maybe that'll lead to more talent down the line. Maybe that's a stretch though. I don't know.
well, you already have 2, right? I mean, you only need 4. You have Brezzy, who we know competed at a really high level,
Yeah.
and we have Hydra, who just turned 18 and is like supposed to be a superstar. So like,
Yeah.
there has to be other options. I mean, there just has to be. So I that's, you know, that's how I wish they would have done it. That would have been
Yeah.
awesome.
It's just weird because like it's almost like we're almost like the NBA in a way. I mean, it's North American based for the most part, North American talent. It's almost sort of become like how it would be in the NBA if you're a Pau Gasol and you're the best player in Spain. Like you go to the US to compete, but like we also have teams in other countries, and I don't know if all of them have the same established leagues that some of those countries do, like they do with the NBA. Well, it's not with the NBA, but you know what I mean, like the leagues foreignly. So it almost seems like the leagues need to be maybe established more there. I don't know. It's kind of odd how it works, and I don't know when it'll get to what we want it to be or how it can. But
Yeah.
hopefully,
I mean, it has to start though, and I think it does start at the top. Like I think the people at the top have to inspire the people below them. Like I can only imagine the year that Heretics had, the year they had, what actually, you never know, who they could have inspired back home.
Yeah,
True. True.
Well,
Like
there was another person because like Juan or Journey was on our academy team for Atlanta Faith, so like I hung out with him a lot. I forget the name of the player, but there was someone from Spain that was like really, really good that he said he really wanted to play with like during that year too. So I'm pretty sure like there was some good players there too that were inspired probably by them. And then yeah, give that 2-3 years. I'm sure there's got to be at least 1 or 2 people that come out of nowhere from the Spanish community that are just disgusting, right? And he was talking about I think there was one person that was like just turning 18 that was really, really good. And then there was someone else I'm pretty sure that he was talking about that will probably be good in like a year or 2 as well. So I think they started that chain of events just with that team, just because of how well
I mean, that's how it works.
100%. That was already started. Like
it's the ability of we can do this. I mean, look at like MIBR with CS in Brazil. Like you think about those guys, like they went to a team house in the US. They somehow got in and they lived in like I don't even know. It was a very small ranch, and they had to qualify for these major events, and then they became one of the best teams in the world. And CS in Brazil is insane. I mean, Neymar is streaming it. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, I wish Paris would have done it. So hopefully when that expansion happens, we get a team in, Germany and France, and they go all in.
So that leads me to my next point. Is that a team thing or is that a league thing? Do you think that like if you buy in like a German CDL spot, would the league like what do you guys
I don't think the league would care,
or is it up to the teams to sign people from specific regions?
I feel like it's on the teams.
I was just say I don't think the league would care as long as you bought the spot. The money's there. Why would the league care who you sign? That's on you to figure out how to turn.
The reason I say the league is
the profit,
just to try and hit viewership demographics that you're just not right now. So a league sanction like X amount of EU spots. Good or bad idea? For I don't know.
Well, that's why this whole thing is kind of weird because it's not like, and it's kind of become this way because I guess COD is so just West focused for some esports, which are a little bit more global. Like, when I don't know, does it end up? Do we eventually go the League of Legends route or something where we have all the different leagues across the world, or is it always going to be one league and it's just going to be Europe and North America? Which it might be because. Yeah, I guess like South America, there's a big following too, which that could change. But I just don't know how big it's ever going to be in India and China and Japan. Like I know there's some players there, but obviously Call of Duty's not like the #1 shooter.
Yeah.
What
I don't know.
I think to that point though, I think with the whole franchising thing, you're looking at the North American market though. Like the reason that to me is it. Like you're I don't know if we can go. I mean, maybe like you see it with the OWL, I guess. I don't know.
That's probably a better example, OWL, because that's like literally Activision Blizzard as well. But I don't know. COD's kind of unique in that it just like dominates.
Well, COD can't go that far. COD can't go to Japan and China yet, or there's just not that competition there yet.
And I guess
you're really just looking at Europe
like
and here.
I guess I just want to note too. I don't think viewership for CDL was that bad. I think a lot of people were worried about this shift to YouTube and everything, but I think like it kind of proved itself, especially throughout the last year. Like viewership was pretty good. Again, I just feel like Call of Duty as a whole is a big what if. I don't know. Obviously, it sells extremely well. So many people play the game, but it is NA dominant. Will we ever see more of a shift is all I want to talk about.
Well, and I guess someone brought up a good point. Like with OWL, what kind of happened early on was there was very much the rosters from everywhere were a part of it, and then the Koreans just kicked everyone's ass. And now you look at most rosters, and there's Korea. In like even myself, I don't have that interest. Like I followed the Dallas Fuel because they were the NV team, and I watched like them go to OGN and try to beat the Koreans, and it was dope to watch. And then that roster kind of dissolved, and now I look nowadays, and I'm just like, it's just hard to connect. I think it's got to be tough for advertisers in North America to connect to that. Like sort of what we're talking about. It's like, what do these teams want to focus on? Is it bringing in viewership from their country and getting sponsors from where they are? Is it just about hosting the trophy? That's
what's true.
It's,
and we don't have to be as international. I mean, think about what to compare it to in regular sports. Like, we don't necessarily need to be soccer. Like, the NFL does quite well, but the difference is, the NFL and the NBA are ingrained in our culture, whereas we have a lot of catching up to do when it comes to video games and esports in the West.
Sure.
And when are we going to catch up? Time. That is time. Literally all that it needs. It's absolutely a different culture.
Right.
So it's just going to get bigger here, just I think generation by generation, without question. But yeah, maybe we don't even need to, man. I mean, maybe it's just a factor of time, and this will be the NFL, and maybe it's not as big of a deal.
It's a good point.
We'll see. I don't know. I guess
you can't.
I think we're more of like the NBA. I think that's probably the closest thing you can compare us to, because we're like superstar centric. But what you need is you need like your Hydra to have a great year in New York, and hopefully, if Hydra has a great year, maybe that inspires more in France. Like that would be. That's the start. But I think what we're talking on is that we knew that Heretics was good enough to compete in the league. So if they get a spot, we expect a full Spanish lineup. I do. Yeah. For sure.
Speaking of Hydra, though, Chris, have you seen Hydra much, or what's that situation there? As we're talking about international stuff.
I haven't seen much of him. Not enough to comment on him, so I have no idea. I've heard like he's nasty.
Is he here? Is he playing?
No, he's still in France, scrimming with them for the past couple of days from France, and I don't know if it's like a visa thing but it's like him or
probably a COVID thing too.
But yeah, we haven't played New York with him in the lineup too much, like while I was there and stuff. So
how do you feel as a coach about that situation? This sense of like, how hard is it got to be to prep for the most competitive league in the history of Call of Duty, and this big like what if is just over the team? Like that's got to be hard as shit, I would think.
I mean, yeah, from a coaching perspective, it's probably super, super tough. And it just depends on how quickly he can learn like everything like that's going on. Like even with NA players, it just comes down to like their understanding of the game and then like getting them on the same page as the team. And once there's like more of a language barrier, that probably becomes way harder. But it just, I just don't know him enough as a person to know how dedicated he is. From what I've heard from like New York players, he's there for like, that this is like his dream. Like he wants to do this. Like he's going to learn English. He wants to do everything that he needs to do to be the best person that he can be and like get on the same page as the team. So I think having that alone and that like drive is really good, but we'll see. I just haven't seen too much of him to really know like what he's doing yet, but I've heard good things from the people that have talked to him. Yeah. Like I've heard nothing but good things about this kid. I just have not seen him play yet.
I agree with you guys. It's about superstar talent flourishing, and that's gonna like inspire people to do better from whatever region. You can't just snap your finger and hope that a demographic gets involved. It just kind of has to happen organically, especially for COD.
What happens with us? Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was gonna say like, and on top of that too, we're like being inspired. Like with Heretics, use them as an example. Heretics was probably like 1 or 2 players away, in my opinion, from being like a top 4 team. Like they were good, but they would kind of, once they played like the top 4 teams, they would kind of fall a little bit short every time. And there was always maybe a few gunfights. Maybe they're not going the right way. I'm not too sure the exact problems. I didn't analyze their gameplay too much, but you get that inspiration from like Heretics doing really well. And then as you're watching, you're 16, 16, 17, 15, whatever it is, you can be that guy that turns 18 and then takes this team from like a B level to an A level, right? Like from like top 6 to top 4 consistently to top, like to winning.
Sure.
And that's like where the real inspiration comes from too, is having those teams start it. It's not just one player to me. I feel like having like a team like Heretics, probably 1 or 2 players away from greatness of like something that can be really special and watch them win their first championship from Spain and all that. That comes from like the team and then being inspired from like, yeah, I can be this guy to do so. And once you're kind of put in that position when you're a little bit younger, you start playing all those 2Ks or whatever you need to do to get like become the best player.
Hey, and all I'm saying is if they become the best team in the world, if they win a tournament, my guy Greff if he's putting in the work with the boys, hey, we're in business. We are in business.
Think about it. I was just thinking about this from like our POV, like what would be our version of this? And correct me if I'm going crazy here, but like I like soccer. I want to root for US soccer so bad. I want to be the biggest Pulisic fan in the entire goddamn world. I want nothing more than to love like the US soccer team, but they stink. So what do I end up rooting for? I become a big fan of Messi and like other players across the world. And I end up watching different teams. Like I wonder if it's pretty similar there in the sense of even if you're growing up in Germany or Spain, you like Call of Duty.
They like
Since
Scum.
you're
Yes.
Exactly.
Do,
So
yes.
like
that's exactly it.
that's like what ends up happening. And I've noticed that my own way with like something like soccer. So like what would change? What would be that shift for me? Our team won the goddamn World Cup, which is never going to happen. But if our team made a deep run, like that is what would shift that mentally for me, at least to some degree. So yeah, it's like getting a good team and winning, and then hopefully dominoes fall behind that. But God, I want our soccer team to be good so bad. Why do we suck?
Yeah, I'd like that too.
We didn't even make the World Cup last time. We literally didn't even fucking qualify. We've got like 200 bajillion, trillion, kabillion people on our goddamn country.
I don't know if you've like looked recently, Clint, but hey, I'm telling you, bro, maybe. There's a lot of young talent.
I know.
There's a lot of young talent.
We say that every year, though.
Hey, I'm just saying. Yeah, but like we say it every year, but they're not playing in like the big leagues. Like we have players actually playing the Premier League and
I know. It has
that experience for sure. Yep.
But like that's how I felt like, for the last 35? Like I felt this way for 25 years. Like I'm just like just hoping it'll happen. So hopefully it happens faster for them in Call of Duty.
All right.
We have women's soccer. Good point. Yes, yeah, goddamn right we do.
True. Good point.
We're awesome.
The saving grace.
Yeah.
Challengers, Wester dominating. They're winning cups left and right. Guys are nuts. We talked about a little bit about that earlier. Will CDL teams make more moves to sign subs, things like that? We'll see as the year progresses. Hacking issues, cheater issues. I haven't watched enough of the recent cups to see how big of an impact it's had.
It's happening.
Yep.
I mean, it's happening. Luckily, there's theater mode, which helps. But I think Krim brought up a really good point of what happens next year if that's not a thing. It seems like it's happening. The problem is, right? It's almost like I think I might have talked about this in the last episode. The problem is there's two things. First of all, it can happen. Second of all, the people that are just good and they aren't doing it are being questioned like they are guilty. That's the issue. Is there's just always going to be that questioning and having to, we'll see how they do on land, but we just don't have lands right now. And that's the problem.
Yeah. And it's the same thing of like, even related to Warzone of what we do every morning. The fact that there's nothing against it and like nothing stopping you from doing it. Like, yeah, that's the thing is like any good player, it's always going to be in the back of your mind. And going into competitions, in my opinion, like going into a competition, if I was in the challenger scene or if I was trying to make a come up or still playing and knowing that the other team could be doing it at the end of the, like there's no anti-cheat, there's no nothing like with it is like, I think that's super unfair for players to be competing like without anything of the sort of like something to protecting them. Of course, like an anti-cheat doesn't stop people from doing anything and there's always like ways around it, but that limits it to me so much more. Because I know a big reason why I don't play wagers and stuff is there's a lot of times where like now you can like force people to like record their gameplay or stream their gameplay to make sure they're not cheating and stuff. There's just so much more to it, and it's all because like of how like it could just be like anyone could do it. And like I feel like that's super unfair for the competitors. Like you need to do something of the sort, especially once if there's no theater mode next year, it's impossible. Like you got to.
I mean, I just thought the only reason they were doing this was because there was an anti-cheat planned. Exactly. I mean, if this is going to be it, in my mind, if we want to do PC on Pro League, that's absolutely fine. I think you might have to go back to new gens only. I think you have to go console only and challengers to just
if there's
validate
no
everything. That's the problem.
Here's the issue, and this is going to be a great segue into Warzone too. There's nothing to lose by doing it. If you're some no-name player and your main goal is to gain some sort of notoriety, beat a good team, make your way up in the ranks, there's a lot of incentive for people to easily do it. And there's been no sort of notable story of people getting caught, of people being punished, right? So like, as time goes on, if there's no sort of system to find out who's doing it, to figure out who's using, how many cheats there are actually out there in the first place, like who knows?
think about it for like CS or Riot or somebody, typically any type of ban or big thing, if there's an accusation, it ends up having to funnel through the dev, right? Like it has to ultimately go through them. They have kind of the final call on whether someone was cheating. And to your point, we just don't. I don't think we have anything
There's
like
no
that.
system.
Like there's no way to even find out if somebody actually is. So
I think there has been like there has been people banned off GB, but like I don't know if it was anyone of notoriety. I know there have been players banned, but it's not. I don't think they're making it public. It's not like they're putting it on a wall for everybody to read.
I think that's what they need to do.
But the problem is, Clint, is that the cups are being played out, and then afterwards, all of the evidence is being shown, and then the punish. They're not being punished live. So like kids are getting knocked out of tournaments.
Well, that's the way it is in every sport, though, isn't it?
It's just like
that's how it is everything, though. Like that.
I mean, I don't know, bro. If someone's wall hacking, pretty obviously that person should just be forfeited.
But like,
I don't know.
It's also like you can. I mean, if you are not bad at the game, you can easily hide that, you know, and make it like less. So it's like so if you have a really good game and everything goes your way, it can easily look like you're doing it, but you're not. And then like you get banned like right on the spot and like you lose the match, but then you weren't. But then there's going to be cases that like that happens. And then vice versa, you are cheating and you knock a bunch of people out. And then, you get second, but then it gets ripped away from you. But everyone you knocked out, you've completely now costed and wasted their time and costing them points and et cetera, et cetera. It's like there just has to be something implemented where that cannot be so common, just plain and simple. And if there's not, like, it's super unfair for the people that are competing in the Challengers Cup, in my opinion.
It's just, how can you do this without anything in place? Has there been no acknowledgement of this stuff at all on the league side? Anything?
I mean, there hasn't been anything. Please don't.
Unbelievable. It's.
I don't know. Yeah, I honestly don't know.
This is the top league. Like, so much money invested. I know that we've had this sort of conversation so many times as a community, but like, it's absolutely insane that there's not at least a system in place to even. I mean,
they're aware of it.
They're aware of it, but it's to me, there needs to be some sort of system in place so that if people people need to know about it. They need to be more. They need to acknowledge what's going on and say that something is being done. Because without that message being out there, and I feel like this applies a lot to Warzone too, if people don't like know that their gameplay is ever even going to be looked at, no one's afraid. People being afraid will probably cut down on a lot of, like, if you lose something important to you.
Then it's not worth it. If you're afraid and you're like going to get like a lifelong ban from the league or something if you get caught, then it's definitely not like that. That definitely limits the amount of people that would do it. But there would still be people that try and get around that. There's always
that's why I'm confused, man. Like, I don't know what the process is of developing your own anti-cheat, partnering with an anti-cheat, yada, yada, yada. I'm not high enough, obviously, to know anything about that. But the lack of acknowledgement blows my mind on the Warzone side and everything like that. The only thing that they've ever acknowledged when it comes to cheaters is they say, oh, we banned X amount of accounts, 50K, or, you know, those messages they'd put up on Message of the Day and stuff like that.
Nothing.
It's just,
I mean, we literally just interviewed hackers the other day. They just have hundreds of accounts.
So I wish I could like talk to somebody and like, how can they just, obviously they're not pretending it doesn't exist, but on a social presence, that's what they're doing.
I don't know. I've said this many times. Like, I know as much as we say just do it, hacking is like the most difficult thing to deal with. It is not easy. It is so hard to keep up with.
And that's but there is a way on the challenger side to deal with it. There is, though, and that's just you have to go console only.
Yeah.
In PS5 and in Xbox One X, like you do 120 hertz. You can mess with the FOV. I just think that's like the answer to me. That's the answer to me.
I feel like you have to.
You have to. How do you not?
Yeah.
It's the only way right now to say we're good to go. It is.
But even then, you still Chronuses and shit. Like, you're still
weird, but it's not the same thing as looking through a wall and seeing anyone. Like, it's not like there's a lot of recoil and cut anyway. Someone else did that in chat. It's like, all right, I get it, whatever. But it is different if someone is literally seeing people through freaking walls. Like, and there's a way to say, all right, we know they're not doing that, and our competition is good to go. And I don't think it's a problem if they go back and say, I don't know. I don't know the word, but we need to legitimize competition. And the only way to do that right now, until there's a proper anti-cheat, is on consoles.
I've had the same
That's the only
thought
way.
Switching up to Warzone a little bit. I feel the same way for tournaments. I'd rather just like you talking to. There's so many things going around in the Warzone scene, whether it be we're talking just something simple as weapons being OP, DMR, whatever. Raven's going to deal with that stuff. That stuff doesn't really bother me too much. I feel like they're going to be on top of weapon balancing a lot more than they were in like the previous iteration of Warzone before the integration, basically. But everything else, we as a group probably haven't played an entire day of Warzone legitimate where every game has been legit in how long?
Month.
I took a 3-week break.
I know.
Literally 3 weeks. The day I came back, Stim glitch came back. The Invis glitch came back. So I lost a Stim glitch. I died to an Invis player. I died to a guy that glitched in the wall through a truck. I died to a 200 ping DMR player. Am I missing something here? Is that the quadfecta? Like what else did I die to yesterday? It's my first goddamn day back. And like I just was.
How does this happen?
I think I finally hit the point where I can't play the game.
No acknowledgement at all.
I don't know. I can't play the game.
The past 5 days, I've played maybe one legit game of Warzone in days, almost a week.
You wouldn't know. You would have no idea if someone was walling, you know?
Well, that's
the technical Clint is here. I'm on the staff.
The scary part, though, is like the walls. Like the aim lock and stuff is like blatantly obvious, but this like watching someone wall, if you're even semi-competent at the game and like you know what you're doing, like you can kind of hide it and like you won't really know if like, hey, did they predict it? Did they get a live ping? Did they have a UAV? Like, did they hear me? There's so many things that like can kind of mask that one, and that's like the thing. That's the scary part about that. That's the like the shitty part about Warzone.
I mean, we see wallers, right, and we'll spectate them. We'll be like, yeah, y'all walls, and then you'll have someone in chat be like, okay, I wasn't hacking. Like they don't even know what to look for.
Oh, well,
I feel bad for viewers.
KD. Yeah,
there's viewers who literally like watch us, we talk about it, and they just go, oh, that's an excuse. It's like I don't even want to know how many times people have just been hacked on, and they have no idea because they don't know how to actually find what to look for when someone is walling. They literally have zero idea.
They've probably most people probably have never dealt with it before.
People always like, man, you guys deal with a lot of cheaters. So I'm just like, you probably do too, and you have no clue.
Right.
Oh my god.
Then we're not even done. That's part one. Then you talk about the influx of all the skill-based matchmaking conversations. Your guys' streams have probably been the same way with throughout the past week. Not Baldy because he's a bronze player, but chat throughout the past week, at least, I don't know what number to put on it. 50 comments every 30 minutes of, bro, someone called you out on your lobbies on Warzone. Bro, this guy's manipulating skill-based matchmaking. Yada, 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 yada. Then you talk about how Warzone tournaments, kill races specifically, have played out since the beginning of Warzone, where you see the first time it happened, I was playing a tournament, I believe with you, Joe. It was the Chipotle Challenger Series or whatever. We played pretty well. We lost by 80 kills. It wasn't even close for a little bit. It was absolute. I've never felt so defeated in my life because no matter what we did on that day, we had 0% chance of winning. So were people manipulating skill-based matchmaking since that early on?
Yes. I believe you and I have known it's been happening for a long time.
Now,
I tell people this to chat all the time. At the highest level, the top 1%, the skill gap in Call of Duty it's not that different, right? It's just not. It isn't.
It's not.
There's a lot of luck to lobbies. I get it. It's always been this way, but there have been multiple tournaments where I'm like, all right, we're frying. Like, we're putting up some really good numbers. Someone comes to my chat and is like, you're down 189 points. I'm just like,
what?
Yes, but what is so hard about this? What is so hard about this? The skill-based matchmaking thing is so complicated, apparently, and no one knows exactly how it works. It's like we don't know if it's something like, I don't know, they tweet out a thing about Paysetter, who we know lives in Hawaii and like saw how his lobbies were. Like, is it just where he lives that is
location
impacting SBMM? Is it if you're in Canada or Hawaii, or if you're in certain more remote areas, does it affect that? Depending on what time of day you're on. Now, do I think there are ways to manipulate it? Yes, I do, but we just don't know how much of it is just based on factors that people aren't doing shit, like that aren't doing anything weird. That's what's so annoying about this. It's more of a spotlight on how dumb skill-based matchmaking is in this current title than it is anything else. Like it.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like I feel like this entire thing coming to light. There's like a lot of people, like even yesterday, like TeeP to the comments thing. I got probably like 10 or 15 comments last night streaming about how like my lobbies were easy.
Yep.
So like I finally used this website. I
showed Chris. He goes, "Oh my god!"
I'm like, you know what? I'll do it. I'll use this stupid fucking website. Sorry, but I used it. Out of like what is this? 12, 18 out of 20 games, I had 12 diamonds. My last 7 games of my like day were all diamond lobbies, and the one game that I got accused for doing it, I had 20 kills in it. And someone said the lobby was a bot lobby, and it was a diamond. Like the thing is like it's not about players playing like you know like top players can't handle a diamond lobby or whatever. But it's about like how the SBMM works, because I truly believe that there are probably some people out there that do understand and do know what they're doing, and I get it. There probably are. I don't really think it's as many people as like people think though. Like I honestly think there's a lot of people out there that are some of the best players in the world. I can promise you some of the top streamers that people accuse, they're not worried about your 1.5 KD in a diamond lobby, because a diamond lobby's KD is not that crazy. Like
a 1-3 I've seen.
That's what I mean. So a diamond lobby's player is not that, like that's not something to be.
Do you want a stat real quick?
I have a 3.48, and all of you would shit on me like I have a 0.7. Like people don't get that. Like
that's my point.
People talk about these ranks, and they talk about skill-based matchmaking, whatever you want to call it, the matchmaking algorithm. 92% of players have less than a 1.5 KD on Warzone. 92%. Think about how little players can even queue up for you to get a diamond lobby.
And okay, so that's to that point, it's like I think there's a lot of people that unfairly get accused because of, I think maybe it's where they live and they're not doing anything. They're just playing the game, and the time that they play the game and they get some easier lobbies, and that's whatever. I don't think, like Z-Laner tweeted about it earlier today about how like he's been getting a lot of accusations. I know Z, and I've played with him. I've had some really hard lobbies and some really easy lobbies. Like I don't think he's doing something crazy. I just think he like the way the SBMM is and how busted the SBMM, getting back to the topic, this shows you how stupid SBMM is because of the fact of how busted it can be, where someone, I think Z-Laner's KD is like a 6. Someone with like a 6 KD is getting a bronze lobby, and he's like someone like me that has a 4, which is in the same skill bracket of like that percentile, is getting harder lobbies. And like then maybe tonight I'll play and I'll get the easiest lobbies in the world by just getting on. Like you have no idea. I've had days, I have 50 days played on Warzone. There's been days where I've gotten on and had the easiest lobbies ever, and then there's been days where I've gotten on and I've had the hardest lobbies ever. I don't know what causes it, but like people like Z-Laner that gets accused, like
we joked about it. Like SBMM got turned off.
I don't know.
It's weird,
but it just shows you how stupid the system is, because that's the problem. That's not like, I don't think there's a lot of people really doing like some crazy thing to manipulate it. I think it just comes down to the fact that it just happens. Like I don't know.
And here's the other thing. I'll be honest. If I figured it out and I'm playing kill races for 100K, hey, there's nothing against it.
Yeah.
Honestly. That's the other problem, is stop running these $100,000 kill race tournaments. What are we doing? Like, knock it off. Nobody wants to play in these things.
Regardless of people are manipulating the system or not, the system is not good for tournaments like that. The fact that you see 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 teams in a kill race tournament perform wildly better than the field. I'm talking these couple of teams are putting up over a 5-game kill race period where you're putting up best scores. They're outscoring some of the top percentile players in the world by 90 to 100 points. Are you fucking kidding me? How do people think these tournaments are legit and put a bunch of stock into them? Are you, like, what?
The 2v2 tournaments have to be, I wish they were the standard of tournaments, because at least if you're in a lobby that's easier, harder, whatever the lobby is, it doesn't matter. You're in the lobby.
Right.
And so is your opponents. So whoever gets more kills, may the best team win. And that's the best part about those 2v2s, where yeah, the kill races, there's a lot of things where you have to play really, really well on the day. But on top of playing really well on the day, you also have to have lobbies that hold up. And now another point that we haven't even hit is, okay, you're talking about lobbies being hard, diamonds and whatnot. I was just kind of getting on the topic. I don't think someone with a 4.0 KD and above is worried about a 1.5 KD diamond lobby. What Huskers tweeted it. I think you were in the game. Huskers dropped a 41 kill game in a diamond lobby.
Yeah.
So he's nasty. I don't think he's worried about the 1.5 KD player running at him. The thing is, though, is that the way the lobbies hold up. And that's a huge factor that, like,
that's
ignored in
another
this.
thing, dude.
But that doesn't make any sense to me, though, at all. Like,
It makes
Well,
no
that-
sense.
well, that's the thing. So the kill races become even more like wonky because you have some lobbies that are bronze that yesterday I had a gold 4 or a diamond lobby, I think, that I had, like, me and Iceman Isaac had like 60 kills in a dual quad. I thought it was a bronze lobby and it wasn't. It was just a lobby that didn't die out. And then you have like a bronze lobby that dies out quickly because they fight each other. And then you have
I had
no
a bronze
opportunity.
3 the other day that had 19 left after
That was-
third.
That's when I was playing with you. Yeah, that's what we're playing.
Exactly.
Like, I was literally like, what
That's
the
the
hell?
issue with kill races is that you have to find lobbies that hold up. It has nothing to do with how well you're playing sometimes. Of course, that's a big factor. But then you have to find a lobby that actually gives you an opportunity to have so you can find 40 people, 60 people, 70 people, 80 people. And that's like where like the variance comes in that people ignore too. It has nothing to do with the KD players. Like, of course, lower KDs might last longer because they're probably all hiding in houses.
Yeah, I
But-
was just say that's
but
like
it's not
the
like that, though. There's been
mindset
plenty of
behind
lobbies
that.
where I've had a diamond lobby where I have like 35 kills, and I'm like, wait, what the heck? This was a hard lobby. It's just how they hold up. At the
I
end
just
of the
need
day.
every little player that's calling out top players and saying, "Oh God, if I had your lobby that I crushed." No, you don't.
No, those players just
Your
suck.
shit.
Plain and
Any of
simple.
these top players in your lobby would shit on them too.
Well, and there's the other the lobby. It could be a bronze 5 lobby, but if everybody knows that Symphony's in the lobby, he's gonna get hunted, and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
that's
doesn't account
you
for
can't
that.
account for stream snipers. You can't account for hackers. You can't account. Listen, hey, I know a lot of people in this chat watch this in the morning. Hey, I see AGSC in the clan tag in the regiment.
Yep.
I'm out of there. It's the Korean Olympic team.
dual pistols.
Okay. I don't see anyone else dealing with that. All right. Those guys fuck. All right. And that is
They do. They do.
plain and simple. I do not see these other players deal with the Koreans. All right. Like,
They're nasty.
those people fry. So I just don't want to hear it. I just don't.
There was a time where I didn't want to play with Symphony anymore because it was just the sweaty, hardest games all day. And I bet it's interesting because maybe we go back and look at it, and some of those lobbies were bronze, silver, gold. I have no idea, but like it was so fucking hard because you just never know how much stream time, how much is going on. Like
to defend Mason or Symphony, he's probably one of my least favorite people to play with. And it's not because of him or his personality or like anything of that. It's when he joins a lobby, he's got like just a group of people that just want to kill him in the game. And it is the most, like, you guys all know, when you play with him, you can easily feel the pressure of the lobby compared to when you're not playing with him. It's like night and day.
Yep.
So I know he's another person that been like gets accused of like bronze lobbies.
Oh,
Like,
I got people
those
coming in here.
bronze
Hey, you
lobbies-
play with Sim, bro. You got bronze
yeah,
lobbies. I'm
those
like,
bronze
hey,
lobbies
bro.
that you can say he gets
fuck
in,
you.
it does not account for the people that, like, yeah, you're in a bronze lobby, and say we go to airport. If 3 teams in that lobby are trying to hunt Symphony down, and they all meet up at airport with you to try and kill you, then it doesn't matter what the lobby is. It's a hard lobby to get out of, and that doesn't, like, that app or website or whatever it's called, it doesn't account for that too. So yeah, that's another hugely overlooked thing of like some players that get easier lobbies. Like, it doesn't really show how easy the lobby can be.
the problem is we just don't know how it works.
1.5, that skill gap is really not that crazy. Like Symphony is not worried about.
No, not at all.
KD, bro. Like, it's just not it.
TeeP, let me run something by you. So we know how this is very there's been, I don't know if you follow Colonel, I think he changed it from Sweaty Poppy. He helped me with all my network optimization. He's been the guy really diving into it. And he kept telling me for like months, like when I thought it was the router stuff, and there's still something to that, I think. But like he was saying, dude, it's all about retention. It's all the skill base. He's breaking it down for me. And I was like, what? Like he was breaking down a lot of the factors in it. Like, it's just crazy thing about what could affect it. Like we don't really know all of the factors, but like if it's all about retention and money and like it could be such stupid stuff. Like who knows? It could be changing a cosmetic item. It could be going to the store and buying something could affect you getting an easier lobby, making you want to play more. Like No one fucking knows. Like,
Could be win percentage in which we're screwed. I mean, we're all top 100 in wins. We're all fucked. So
no one knows. That's the problem. Like, it's so complicated. Have all these patents out about different things. Like, it's just, I think everyone expects it to be like ranked as we know it. It's not. It's not at all. So I don't know. There's definitely some people probably manipulating it, but bottom line is, however it is working, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
The point that I want to get to is sort of like the future. If Warzone tournaments are going to be a thing, even in 2v2s, what's going to stop? I'm not. No one think that I'm accusing anyone of doing this. I'm just talking about hypothetical and potential. But anyways, let's say a 2v2 tournament. Let's say one team has 4 stream sniper teams on their side just on a given day. Are other teams going to have a good chance of winning a 2v2 tournament?
Well,
that's why I get so pissed when people don't hide their screens. They can all go fuck themselves. And I've called that out on broadcast. Like, if you're not doing all that shit and putting a delay on when you're supposed to and hiding a screen, like, go fuck yourself.
Well, what I was about to say though, that's a very to rebuttal to that though. It's a tournament rule to hide your screen. Period. Plain and simple. And it's a tournament rule to have a delay.
People don't actually though. And they don't get in trouble. People don't put a delay on, and they don't have an issue. Like, we watched the tournament recently.
That's my point. That's on the tournament holders. That is their fault. Like, I'm talking pure competition here. I'm not. It's like, let's just remember that Warzone tournaments are in public matches. It's not like competitive CDL. It's not the same level of competition. But if you're doing a Warzone tournament and you're talking about the competitive integrity of the tournament, a delay has to be used. I know some streamers, including myself, hate delays because delays suck.
Yeah,
but if you're doing a tournament, you have to have a delay on. And on top of that, you also have to hide your screen. And if you do those two things, that makes it a lot
you
easier
have to avoid dying in the pregame lobby
what
too.
I'm about to say. Yes, that. But no, Joe, can we get a streamer mode that fucking works?
Yeah.
Like, hello, like then you don't have the issue of dying in a pregame lobby. Because the thing is, and Mason talks about it all the time, or Symphony for the podcast sake, Symphony talks about it all the time. When you die in the pregame lobby, or say I run into you in Super, and like my name is Symphony, if you kill me or I kill you, now they know you're in the game. And then that's when someone's like, oh my God, Symphony's in the game. And then they pull up the stream to see, and they're like, oh my God, it's actually him. And now they know, well, he just regained over here. So even if they're not really stream sniping you, they know you're on this area of the map. So they're going to play different. So that is another thing that we haven't talked about, is like, just use a streamer mode that works. Cold War has it, kind of. It's like 79% working, because it doesn't have a pregame lobby.
It's like 90%. Yeah.
But the thing is, it's just all that takes it away. If you played a tournament, you had a streamer mode that works, which I don't know how it doesn't. Then you have to hide your screens on the tournament end, and then you have to have the delay. It makes it way better, and it makes it more consistent. Of course, there's variance to it because it's public match Warzone, but that is how you run the most competitive tournament, in my opinion.
And people, as much as you can, like, try to.
And people, hopefully, top content creators, they're going to have to start saying no to kill race tournaments. That's the other aspect of this. There has to be no, I'm not playing this, even if it's $50,000 to $100,000 up for grabs.
But that's not going to happen.
It could though. I mean, Nick's already said no. Like, I think other people. I know people aren't to that level, and. Listen, I know the guy sits on a throne of gold. Okay, I get it. I understand, but that has to happen collectively, or this doesn't go away. It will always be an issue.
Yeah,
like
it's just tough, because the thing is though, to make you like the other side of that argument. Okay, yeah, you have to say no, but kill race tournaments get you involved of how many more streamers. I don't even get invited to half the tournaments anymore. And so if you're telling me I don't get invited to half the tournaments and they're kill races, if you limit that to 16 captains or 8 captains, I'm never playing in the tournament again. So like, for someone of my size, like, doesn't get invited to tournaments half the time, like,
I get it.
You're not going to. So then you'll have the same 8 creators, which to me, in my opinion, it doesn't bother me, because people work hard for their viewership. Like, use TeeP, for example. Like, you work hard for your viewership, you deserve to be in it, plain and simple. But like, then you have the same like 8 creators that play, and it's hard to run a 2v2 tournament all day, because if you do 32 captains, that's 64 people, and that takes forever. So it's just really hard to find the best of both worlds.
Warzone is going to only succeed long term until we get a gentleman's agreement, customizable private match rule set.
That would be cool.
I say 6 to 8 game heats, mini royale, limited tacticals and weapon use, fast zones.
No
That would be
recons. Yeah.
Put the best of the best against each other in a private match, but like in a more fun way and not using recons and camping houses. And I think you're in a good spot.
You still have 2v2s. Like 2v2s are still fun, but it makes
2v2s
sense
are
in
awesome.
private
I
matches.
think
Like, 'cause I still don't think private matches
they're
are really
easily
entertaining.
manipulated and they're cheese and they don't always give a consistent result. You need vetted competition. You can't
But
here's
the thing to that. I have this. I just like why would some of these guys like say yes to playing the best players? And like, the money would have to be there, I guess, for them to say yes. I mean, that's really the only way.
Yeah.
Stopping's still fun to watch. I just wish we could figure out a way to still do it. I think private lobbies need to happen, but I actually think that would get boring.
And I just think a lot of creators say no to private lobbies because, like, why would they?
That's why, to the boring aspect, you can't do regular Warzone. It's too boring. It's too slow. That's why I say mini royale with fast zones. You do 15-minute, 20-minute games. Bang, bang, bang.
And I think private lobbies are fun. Like I think doing a series of them or having a league or like doing them periodically is great. I'm just saying, like, at its core, every tournament can't be that, I guess, unless you do some major changes like you do. Because I would love to see some stuff with the CDL and I would love to see more private lobby stuff. It's just not.
I don't know.
Being that, I guess. I don't know.
I did a private granted, this is just a subscriber tournament here, but I did a subscriber tournament, like private lobby tournament, and it was like 3 or 4 games. I think the kills were like 3 points per kill and like 10 points for like a win. And so basically you get 2 or 3 kills and it's better than a win. And it played pretty smooth. I had like the rule of no recons and no shotguns.
Yeah.
And it was fun to watch. I had a lot of fun watching it, no lie. Like I was going through people's streams and it was really cool. It's just, yeah, if you put $100,000 on the line and there's recons in, people like, and you put the best of the best people in with 4 DMRs sitting in the center of the circle, I mean, the end game might be cool for like 1 minute of gameplay, but it'll be very, very slow pace. So yeah, what TeeP said, if you can like get more customization in the private match, and then from there, like change zone speeds, change this, take out recons, maybe stuns, like whatever you want to do. I think you can do like PUBG. People are saying in the chat, PUBG did a pretty good job of this. Yeah, you can do a very cool tournament for that, and like that'd be awesome.
You can do that though, but what are these tournament organizers trying to get? It's the creators, and all I'm saying is, if the money isn't there, these creators aren't going to do it, because why would they? You're just putting your reputation on the line. It's still, you guys all. It's the same way in our tournaments. Like the thing that is safe with public lobbies is that, you know, you can have a rough game and you lose a 2v2 and they just slayed and that's it. But as a content creator, you guys know how annoying it is. Even if you kill someone in the game, like that entire chat, the entire chat just becomes toxic. That is why they will say no. Because why would you? Why do you want to do that?
No, that's true.
Like as a content creator, you're
the world can't even play. Like what?
You didn't sign up to be a Warzone pro player. You signed up just to play COD. That's what you're doing.
Use Tim the Tatman as an example of what you just said. Like, yeah, Tim's probably not going to want to go into a Warzone game of 150 people with a 6 KD. But the thing is you can do a balance of both of those tournaments. I just think skill race tournaments have to go for the sake of like someone like Tim. I would play with Tim in a 2v2 and have a blast, because even though Tim is not considered the best player, he's still a good player. You can beat anyone. Well, I mean, hey, you play with Maven and Maven sucks, and you beat plenty of good people, right? So like you have the same thing. That's what I mean. Like 2v2s, you can still win, and like for content creators, it's great. But I think it can just be a product of both, because someone like Joe Woe, he would love a private match 21 if you had the right customization, and then go to like 2v2s and have some content creators do it. You can have the balance of both. I just think the one thing that you can't do with how much variance there is the kill races are just super whack with how busted. Back to the original point that started all this, that SBMM website showed you how screwed up the SBMM is, and it's not consistent. I don't think people are really doing much to like manipulate it as much as it is just being broken. Plain and simple. It just, sometimes you get good lobbies and sometimes you don't too. So depending on where you live.
There's a bit of both. There's a bit of both, I think.
I think that's what I mean. So I think that's the reason why those tournaments just shouldn't be a thing compared to the 2v2s.
I think what's frustrating though, just to what you just said, I think at its core, like we can all probably agree that website like kind of should be a good thing. Like you should be able to find cheaters. Like there's no rank mode, but you can kind of see what rank you're against. Like at its core, it should be kind of good. It's just become this ultra mega toxic.
Well, no, plain and simple, it's given shit cans, sorry for my language, an excuse to do what you guys said before. Oh,
cherry-
I got
people
your
down.
lobbies,
You
I
cherry
would do
pick
this.
data. You just cherry picking data. Oh, this
That's
supports
the
my
thing.
claim. This
Not
guy's
toxic until it's
BS.
people. It's not toxic until it's the people that are using it as an excuse. And there's going to be a lot of people that love to make excuses for themselves because they suck. Everyone understands that, but most of it is pretty cool, I would say. But of course, that's what it's going to be at the end of it too.
What I did the number of tweets I got where it's like, I only get diamond lobbies. The fuck
No, you don't.
you.
Yeah,
Not true.
No, you don't.
You could type it in a chat. That's fine, but like you just don't. There's no way. There's not enough people. Just look at the stats, and I wonder if that level of lobby changes depending on what your KD is. Like, does it rank the lobbies differently if you're a 1 KD? You know what I mean? Or does it rank all the lobbies the same way?
Well, you should
No matter
affect
what.
it, I would think, right?
Yeah.
I mean, your number should impact it, I would imagine, because it should. I would think it would show. Actually, that's a good question.
So,
like, if you would have show diamond, let's say, this show gold 4 for you, but a lower KD player does it show diamond 3 in the same lobby. I actually don't know the answer to that.
That's what I'm saying. So, whether I get easy lobbies or not, my 5 point whatever KD, does that automatically change the ranking of the entire lobby?
Well, I mean, it definitely impacts the lobby. I just don't know if it does for you or not. But I don't know.
You get what I'm trying to say, though?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. But whatever. It's just the whole thing. The whole thing is just. It's just.
I mean, this is one thing. We still got stem glitches and hackers.
Yeah, we can't even play the core game right now, too.
We can't even play.
Think about. So the day, like I said, I took 3 weeks off, and if retention is a big deal, then I check my day before I left, which was Christmas Eve. I checked it, and I basically had all gold and diamond except for I think like 1 silver game, or something like that. It looked like 10 games. It was mostly diamond and gold. I come back, and I got a ton of bronze and silver, but the lobbies were still shit. Like, that's what we had, like the 19 people alive and the hackers, and like didn't feel like I was having fun playing against bronze lobbies. I still want to put my head through a wall just as much as I did.
What were like the times for that? Do you remember? Like when you're like, do you remember? Because I think it's also because Chris had like 12 out of 20 diamonds last night. I bet you a big part of it is also the time of day when you play. Obviously, all the sweats are on at night.
Some of the hardest days I've had is when, well, it's interesting because when I played like a couple times on a West Coast host at night, like it's been kind of a joke at night on certain times, but some of the nights I played specifically with like Fellow's the one that always comes to my mind. For whatever reason, whenever I played at Warzone night with Fellow, it's probably been like 10 times. I am competing at Call of Duty champs. Like it has been the hardest, sweatiest games of my life. Like 3 hours in a row not getting loadout type nights, and it is just
I'm sure it's a big part of it because we play in the morning, so I'm sure it's a big part of it.
And well, you got to think more population. I don't know.
Yeah, no, Jack Frags, the YouTuber, made a video about SBMM today, and he did a bunch of data, and he said like from like 6 to 11 p.m. on he like VPN to New York to test it. He said like he got like tremendously more diamond lobbies than he did at like
that makes sense.
Like 8 like the earlier time. So, like
because our morning lobbies we never thought were like it was the hackers.
Never thought that hard. It's just the cheaters,
Korean and Chinese players, or it's just like dear Lord in heaven. Like that's why.
I think that's why Sim's been getting a ton of crap lately. I'm like, dude, he just plays in the morning. Like he's just trying to play games.
So you probably get like less population, so they have to throw you into a lobby, so you're not sitting there queued for no reason. So that's exactly why.
Anytime population is low, rank systems don't work properly unless one of two things happens. You throw in worse players, or you have a 10-minute queue. Like that's just how it works.
The best example for that is I like you guys remember when I was obsessed with Apex. I would play ranked Apex a lot, and I'd be like a platinum. And, you know, me, platinum, learning mouse and keys, just playing the game for fun. And all of a sudden, I'm dropping in and I see Apex Predator Trails. And I'm like, what the hell? That's like 17 ranks above me. But I'm playing at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Right.
No one's on. So it just like, here's this entire lobby and you put it together. So, like, yeah, for sure, a population thing of where you are definitely affects it a lot.
And I host from Texas.
All the hackers are at school in the morning? Nope, they're there every morning. I tell you, I'm there.
Yeah.
As soon as I get on, 8:30, my first game usually. I'll see you tomorrow.
You might be dealing with like 14-year-old hackers in their mom's basement. I'm dealing with the ones in China just fucking me up. Just joining central servers, which I still don't understand why it's a thing, but they love central servers.
I just want some acknowledgement of any of this stuff that's going on.
Yeah,
with
communication
Warzone.
just really bad
any
right
sort
now.
of transparency of knowing that the publisher, aka Activision, or the devs, they got our back. Something be like, hey, we know this is an issue. We are doing something about it. I don't even care if I get it.
Do you even have like a COD partner chat? Do you even have anything like that? Nothing.
No, I don't. And that's
you don't have a direct line to Bobby Kotick?
That's what makes it so hard too.
Score.
Yeah, code TeeP all caps. I absolutely love to see it. It's what makes these conversations so tough, right? Because I have not had fun in so long on Warzone, and I need to play Warzone.
I had fun because of you guys.
Yeah,
I had fun because of my
it's all
idiot viewers, but the game it's been tough lately.
So the fact that I don't want to sound entitled or egotistical or anything like that, but like I'm trying really hard to promote the game. It's ridiculous. And I feel the fact that I feel like they don't have our backs as creators, as streamers, as players in general. How many people have stopped playing Warzone because of all of this? Like, I know
lately it's been bad. Finally, like people are just like doing other shit, like talking about playing other games.
I mean, the best thing for them right now is that it is sort of, the world is what it is, and there's nothing else being put out. I mean, that's
no one to put
really
pressure on a different.
There's
title.
No competition. Yeah, exactly. There's
and even
there's
at
nothing.
its worst, I still love it. I do.
Same. But I mean, as much
so
as us, but Nick and Tim are still getting on it. They're still dealing with it. Us is getting on and playing. Sims getting on. Sims,
they're getting on for a lot less hours though.
Yeah, no, they are 100%.
Fine, I'm playing tomorrow morning. You convinced me.
But a lot of people are playing Rust. I watched that game. I got no idea what's going on, but that's happening. I don't think I'd ever play it, but hey,
I played some Rocket League today. Rocket League was fun.
Yeah, I played Cold War 8s with friends. That was a great time.
Who wants to come to World of Warcraft with me? I'm just fucking up Shadowlands, bro. Who's in?
Dude, I'm kind of down.
It's so fun. It's so fun.
It's just tough, man. I hate to. It's always such a negative connotation, and obviously we love the game. It's the reason why we play it all the time, right?
Chris, black and white.
I just want black and white.
Yeah.
I love Call of Duty. I plan to work on Call of Duty, commentate Call of Duty, play comedy the rest of my life. But sometimes it's tough.
We started talking about Warzone, and he started graying out.
Yeah, we started talking about hackers, and I went black and white. What just happened? I kind of vibe with this though. This is my mood right now about what we're talking about. Could we add some rain to this in the YouTube video? All right, well, I can't take this, so. Here I am.
Well, you look great.
Thanks, man.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's our time at? Let's. You guys want to close out with chat questions? I think that's a good way to end it. We'll We're trying to aim for 2-hour episodes. If you guys want to run some questions by us, you got us for a good 12 minutes at this point. So if any questions, we'll pick out our favorite ones.
I love how
go
fast
from there.
time goes by, and we just. I was putting stuff on that when the document, I was like, I don't really have all that much stuff on here that we can talk about. But then I was like, we'll find stuff to talk about.
But if you've ever had a conversation with yourself, Maven, you just talk a lot too.
Yeah. Hey, one thing that
6 hours.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
TeeP, you have the commanding voice.
Yep.
A lot of people just ask all the time, like, why doesn't everybody just band together and not stream the game? Can you explain to people what that entails? People ask me that all the time. Like, why don't you just stop streaming it?
First off, you'd have to do it for a long period of time to make a significant impact to make them even care. Second, do they even care about their Twitch or YouTube viewership? Who knows if they actually do, making an impact like that. 3, this is all of our incomes. So, like, do we want to let some other streamer just take
the big one,
take all the viewers or have the viewership of Warzone kind of go down in general? That hurts all of us. So basically, the risk for reward of doing something like that makes 0 sense for us to do it. But to that point, if we got more acknowledgement and we feel like they just weren't holding up their end of the bargain, maybe you could do something like that. But in the position that we're all in as creators, we can't just be like, all right, I just won't. It's just like it doesn't work the same way where a union can boycott, right? Like there's no structure to this type of stuff that we do. And there's no way to put actual pressure on anybody. We don't even know who the people that are potentially making these decisions. So it's like,
no idea.
We don't have any information.
Is it Raven? I'm not sure. I don't know.
I have no idea.
It's Raven now. No,
so like,
no
Raven,
but you're right, Joe. A lot of people just say it like it's a simple thing.
They say
it's
that.
Like what?
Yeah,
The
that's what I
hard
was
part
gonna say to
is a
Joe.
lot of people don't understand this. I mean, you can even see it like as a streamer, if someone doesn't get on, like if if one of the big streamers doesn't get on, your viewership's double basically. Like
Yeah.
no matter what, there would be people that would, because the fact is people still want to watch Warzone as much as they don't. Like they say this, like people still want to watch it and will watch it and are watching it now. So like will always be people that will just be like, all right, well, I'll just still stream it and get all the viewers. Like that's just the way it is.
There's always going to be someone on the come up trying to,
You can't blame them.
get their opportunity. I that's how it is.
This is what I was going to say to Joe earlier when he said, like, why people just have to turn down the tournaments? Same problem. Like, same logic.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
not easy to do.
Yeah, no, it's not.
And all I'm asking for at the end of this is what you guys are saying is like spot on, and I get it. But I don't know how hard it is to make an anti-cheat, and that's why even when I talk about it like publicly up to my chat, I don't really go too hard on it because I don't understand a lot of that. And when I don't understand things fully, I don't I don't like, acting like I know everything. The only thing I ever ask is what we kind of touched on is just give me like the stim glitch, for example. It's been 3 days now? Just give me the tweet like, yo, we understand it's a thing, like we're working on it. But like just the whole like being kept like no one knows, like I figured I'd get on today and not have to deal with it.
Same.
But in about 9 minutes, I'm about to go deal with it for 6 hours. You know what I'm saying? Like I just, and the
No,
thing
I literally
is,
thought I was going to get on today. I was
like,
going to wait up to a
they
hot
could
fish.
just take stims out, right? Because no one uses stims anyway. So it's like, why can't you just give us a tweet? Like, and they've been doing a better job. That's why
Let
I'm
us
not.
know.
But I would rather just a little bit more transparency here and there, just about things that are being worked on. That's all.
Really frustrating.
Then that's something to me. I don't know how development works. I'm not going on that side. I'm just saying on the side of like your community, of how much the community supports the game. A simple tweet of, hey, we understand the stim glitch is happening. We're working on the quickest fix for it. Expect the fix maybe in a day or two. That would take like 90% of people's complaints and like calm them down for a couple days. So I don't know. I don't know why that's so hard to do. That's like my biggest like gripe with it.
Well, people are saying, can you take just frag grenades out? Is that the issue? That's what causes them?
Frags. Yep.
I don't know how to do it because I don't care.
Me neither.
But
Huskers and Doug were doing it when we were playing today. You throw a nade, you pick it back up, you drop your guns.
What?
Okay.
But like,
it's really like that's why it's so widespread.
So what you just said to me, just take frags out.
Yeah, vault them. Vault the DMR. Vault the frag grenades. Done.
Yeah, I don't know why they've been so afraid of like the vaulting system.
Fortnite's done that. Yeah, that is something I know developers can do because I've seen it happen in so many different games. I don't see how that's so hard to do that. But even without the fixes, I would just love to know that they know about it.
Yeah. Working
just
on
it.
Working on it. Fix coming soon. That, you know how much that would do for my mental state? Instead of just being like, just stop playing for a week. I would stop playing for a week, lose viewers, followers, subs to whoever else isn't doing that, gain nothing, lose a lot, nothing changes. Like,
good communication makes every aspect of life better, whether it's your employer, your loved one, your in-game comms, your stuff from Raven. Good communication helps everything. So yes, man, just that peace of mind or know it's being worked on 110%. Like, be nice. Yeah.
I just don't get. Is it like you guys think it's a thing that you just like don't want to acknowledge that it's bad?
Yeah.
I just don't know. Like
I guarantee it's a PR thing.
Not sure.
It's gotta be right. Just like don't
acknowledge.
Don't acknowledge.
It's like what? It's like
I acknowledge it's there.
It just feels disrespectful. I don't know if that's me being egotistical or what, because we do this, we're so invested, I guess. But it's just like what?
Yeah, when you have like 50 to 70 days played, you just
yeah. Can I get a tweet? I just want a tweet from the community manager.
You're not asking for a crazy fix. You're just asking for like a little communication of like, hey, we understand. Like this is not working well.
I'll tell you what, I don't want that job.
Well,
that's my thing.
Actually, I do want you to have that job because you would destroy everything until it was done.
I watched. Did you guys watch the show by the people who did Always Sunny on Apple Plus, Apple TV or whatever? What was it called? Mythic Quest. Oh my God, there is a scene with the community manager for their company that is so funny, bro. It's so good. If you haven't watched it in like video games, I highly recommend it. But it sounds like a very shitty job. You just get spewed negativity all day. every day. Like
It's got to be so hard to do, and that's why I try not to go crazy like on my own stream and stuff. And I usually like kind of take the stance of defending them in some stuff because I don't know how it works. But you can't tell me that typing out a tweet is hard. I don't know. Like you just,
especially because they've been acknowledged before.
Yeah. Then yeah. And well, the thing with Raven is Raven just tweeted that they want community feedback on stuff. They tweeted that they want the comments. They tweeted that they want some feedback and they want to.
No, there was the person from Activision I follow, and he was like, "Hey, what do you want to see more from us?" And I think 10 of the probably 75% of the tweets were just more communication.
Yeah,
clearer communication.
But then on I don't know. You got to think on the business side of it. It's like they can't just sit there and be like, "Hey, working on this bug. Hey, working on this glitch." There's so many of them. Their entire Twitter feed would be updates on the things that you know what I mean?
But what if it comes down to the point though? Say you're the community manager, and it's
put
like,
it on
hey,
the list.
Working on this, but like they're not working on it. You know, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe like.
Yeah, maybe internally it's such a mess. They don't know who's doing what.
Yeah,
maybe it's that bad. You have no idea. That's why it's hard to judge sometimes because you don't really know whose fault it is. But if I'm saying, hey, you know, TeeP's fixing this, and you're sitting there, Tyler, like, no, I'm not.
Like what?
Then it's like, then where do you go from that? So maybe it's a little bit harder to communicate because there's more internal problems. I have no idea. Like, there's got to be something.
And that's what leads to most people probably being more mean because we don't get anything. People start to speculate, and when people speculate, it's usually probably a lot of. I bet a lot of stuff we're saying. If a dev or someone that actually works behind the scenes probably just thinks we're bullshitting, but it's just like we don't know anything. It's annoying. People get pissed.
Oh, people do it to my team all the time with Atlanta FaZe. People speculate about. I mean, last year people wanted me fired because my team wasn't rotating at 20 seconds. Like, people always are going to speculate, and once people start speculating and there's no line of communication between the two,
don't give them a chance. Exactly.
That's when people start going crazy with their assumptions, and then they make up this like fantasy world of how it works, and they're just wrong.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing. I've dealt with that even in my own way of like it coming at me.
Yeah, I started those rumors just so you could stream more with us.
Hell yeah.
I mean, hey, start them again. I like them.
Let's go, baby.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot. So, you know, you do
more
what you gotta do.
questions, chat. More questions. What do we got here? Give us something good. I saw some questions before, but we kind of went on a rant and missed a lot of them. So if you guys
I had
want
a question.
Oh, you had one?
No, that was my question.
Oh, that was your question. Got it.
Oh, I thought you read that from the chat, bro.
Yeah, I thought so too. That was a good question.
All right.
No,
that's all right.
Well, people ask me all the time, and I don't really know how to answer that with more than just like there will always be a streamer. That's really it.
Yeah.
People want to watch COD. I mean, always. Be like, no, man, I'll stay with you forever. Which, hey, listen, there are those that we love and are loyal, but there's a lot that aren't.
Yeah.
Weapon you'd like to see become meta. I assume you're talking Warzone. I would say I love the Mac. I think the Mac's a lot of fun. To pair with the Mac, I would say a decently strong, like if the M16 was a little bit better, a burst gun. I love burst guns. I think a balanced burst gun would be fun to play on Verdansk. You guys
it's hard to do in this game though, because
it is.
Hear me out, dude. Screw the Mac, dude. I'm over the Mac. But
fair enough.
The Mac's not bad, like whatever. But could we get a weird SMG? And first, I think no meta is the best meta, meaning if there was like 3 or 4 ARs that people were like, you know, arguing about what's better, that's when your community's at the best, in my opinion. When people were talking about the M13 being better than the M4, but the M4 is not as good as this gun, like that's where you want to be in the balance. Same thing with SMGs, where the MP7 was really good in the beginning of the game, and everyone thought it was better than the MP5 because it had more range, but the MP5 killed better up close. Like stuff like that is what you want. But if we're gonna get a meta, I want like a P90 or something, or a striker or an ISO, something weird for the SMG, or a 74U.
Yeah.
And then going on top of that for the assault rifles, I have not used an AK-47 in Call of Duty, and it'd be the best gun in the game in so long. I just want to use something a little bit different, but I prefer if there was just something of the sort where there's not just one gun you can use, there's like 6 of them.
Yep.
And if you have no meta, that is when it's the best meta, because your favorite streamer Huskers might be using the P90 and the AK-47, but then TeeP might be using this, and then this guy might be. That's like what you want.
Yeah.
And if you can get to that, and we got close to that during the Kilo meta, to be honest, we got kind of close to that.
Pretty
and then
close, yeah.
we became the DMR zone, but we were getting there. That's where you want, is just having guns where you can mess around with and having fun. Like people tell me right now on Warzone, yeah, hey, get on and use the AK-47. No, I'm not subjecting myself to that with a DMR in the game. But 2 months ago I would have, because you can still have some fun, right? So I think that's where you really want to go for, is that. But we'll see.
I just don't know if we'll ever get there until Verdansk is gone. I just think the map really hurts the meta.
True.
It's just 2 fights. I mean, it's a super long range fight, or you're indoors on staircases. That's most of the fights. That's really it. The line of sights are just so long. I don't know. I mean, I would hope maybe we can be there, but right now you need laser beams, you need long range fights, and then inside, it's why the R9 was so good. It's why the MAC-10 is so good. Why MP5 became better than MP7. 95% of your fights are inside or across the map. I don't know.
Yeah, but like I just feel like part of the problem is loadouts.
Or you're on headies, right?
When you have streamers, like there's always gonna be a best gun, like some that people are using, and like with loadouts, you can pick whatever you want. Like if it went back to like the blackout style, there was a lot more variation there, not because of balance as much, but
whatever you found,
whatever you picked up. And then also, I know it'll never work. We've talked about it a million times, but because of people spending money, but God, I would love some kind of vault mechanic. I would love that. Just force the meta shift, use different shit every month or whatever. But
I think they can do that though.
How do you do it with people spending money on stuff? Is like where it gets weird.
I don't disagree, but it doesn't have to be forever. I don't know. I'll tell you how. You buy the camos and not the blueprint. It's a camo thing and not a blueprint thing. Yeah. So you can use the camo on any gun you want.
Yeah, true. Yeah. This month, these 3 guns are gone. Have fun.
I would like that personally. I know maybe everybody would.
Or even if it was like a system where, you knew what was getting vaulted. So if you're buying something, like, are you going to buy the new M4 if it's getting vaulted in 2 weeks? If you do, don't bitch about it, right? Don't complain about it.
Yeah.
Done.
And then if you do buy it and it gets vaulted, it's not anyone's fault. You pay attention. Cool. I don't know.
I mean, I'd love to say it would I'd be worried about it hurting someone financially, but I mean, Fortnite seemed to do okay. Epic made decent amount of money and they did vaulting. So.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. It's a good example.
They seem to do all right, but I don't know if it'll ever happen, but I just always, it's weird because I never played a lot of Fortnite. I've never played a game with a vault system, but I always kind of liked it. It also reinvigorates the conversation on social every month or two whenever it happens. You see everybody tweet like, my shotgun's gone, or this is back. I don't know. Maybe it would suck, but I've always kind of wanted to try it.
Oh, I wish no loadouts. I've been saying it since the start of Warzone. Ugh. Warzone with loadouts just makes the game so repetitive. Even Blackout was repetitive, and that's where you found your own guns.
Like the
that's
way
just even worse.
Quality of life stuff is so much better in Warzone, and I've grown to kind of like loadouts in a way. But it's just not a BR. It is, but it's just a
no. It's just a mixture of I mean, what do loadouts do? I mean, it makes it so that you never are fighting a gold paladin when you fought a D or SDM, right? I don't know. I get it. I agree, but I also understand then there's the people that are but if you killed that team, that was the fun of picking up their loot, which I get as well, or finding that weapon, but the problem is that there's a meta. If you could use whatever you wanted, loadouts could be fun because you could just use whatever you wanted and make whatever gun you wanted.
That's what I was going to say. I still think it comes down to, I don't think loadouts obviously help the meta become formed, but why can't, if there was still a better balance of weapons, I think loadouts would be even cooler though, because then you would have some streamers that use the AMAX, and then you'd have a few streamers that use the Kilo, and then you'd have a few streamers and people that use the M13, and that is what you want. That's the cool part. And then you have the arguments on Twitter, the banter arguments of this guy's still using an M13, and then this guy's like, what? This is the best gun in the game, and then you kind of go back and forth. That's what you want.
Yeah.
But one day, hopefully.
All right. We're past time.
Okay.
I had fun with you all. I love you all, Chris. Your whole 90s alternative rock emo music thing you got going there is pretty dope though.
I don't know what happened, bro.
All right, guys. That's going to do it for the episode today. Crowder's going to be streaming right after this. If you want to check us out, check him out, and then check us out in the morning every single day as well. BTB, we're grinding. We hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It will be going up on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, the usual platforms within the next couple of days. Make sure you check those out if you guys only caught part of the episode. Follow all of our channels. You can see this, all the stuff scrolling down here on all of our, Twitch, Twitter, social media, YouTubes. Please support the boys. Next episode will probably be going down on the channel here, I don't know, week or two for the next Hardpoints episode. And then we're going to start getting involved with the CDL Kickoff. So more CDL content and things to talk about there. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. BTB. I love you guys.
BTB.
Later.
We're out of here.